Okay, we are live. Just wait for the viewers to come in. Let's wait for a few people to get in here. Got a nice cup of tea to start the stream, and we'll see how long this goes on for. What's up, Fat Apples? How you doing? How you doing? What's up, ABC? How you doing? How are we all doing tonight? Thank you, ABC. Fat Apples, he says, nice for Wilder to get some karma back from Fury for what he does to AJ. Yeah, Wilder, he talks too much. He comes across a bit. He's a bit bitter and vindictive at times, and yeah, it's hard to feel sorry for him, to be honest. Yeah, I know what you mean. But ultimately, all I want to see, I want to see Joshua fight Wilder. I want to see Wilder fight Fury again. All I want is the big fights, to be honest. But right now, they're not happening, unfortunately. I'm sure Wilder is going to fight Brazil. I'm sure Fury is going to fight maybe Pulev. And, nobody's asking for any of these fights. So we're the losers at the end of the day, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not going to pay for Joshua versus Miller. I certainly wouldn't pay for Wilder Brazil. And I'm not paying for Fury versus Pulev or Parker. So out of all the main heavyweights, we're getting fights we don't really want to see. And, the fact that Usyk is going up to heavyweight and maybe fighting Povetkin, he's giving us the best fight. Crazy stuff. But yeah, the heavyweight division is a bit of a mess right now. It's hard to stay interested in it, to be quite honest. It really is. I'm just bored of the back and forth. I'm bored of the drama. I mean, this has been going on now for quite some time. I'm just bored of it. If they're not giving us the fights, there's not really much to talk about, as far as I'm concerned. But it is what it is. I mean, 2019 for boxing so far, I'll be honest, it's not been great, in my opinion. It's not picked up from 2018. I felt 2018 was a good, solid year for boxing, but this year started fairly slow. Oh, Fat Apples, he says, what fight am I looking forward to most this year? I would say Canelo versus Jacobs, Rungvisai versus Estrada 2. They're two fights I'm looking forward to a lot. I'm looking forward to Dorticos versus Tabiti, Josh Taylor versus Baranchik, Relic versus Prograis. There are fights out there I'm looking forward to, but they are sort of too far in between at the minute. But yeah, there are fights out there I'm looking forward to. I also really like Glaskov no, not Glas. What am I saying? Glaskov, Glowacki versus Briedis as well. I think that's a really good fight. ABC Def. He says, I don't like Teofimo Lopez. I hope Tatley humbles him. I can see why. I can see why Lopez, gets under people's skin. I can see why people don't like him. He's kind of abrasive. He's cocky. He's arrogant. But I don't think it's too over the top, to be quite honest. Um, it's a little bit out there, but I'm not bothered by it. I like his style. He's flashy. He can punch. He's fairly quick. He's entertaining to watch, to be honest. I like Teofimo Lopez. Or Teofimo, sorry, not yeah, Teofimo Lopez. I like him. Thoughts on Lewis Neary? How do you think he would have fared in the World Boxing Super Series? Very good question. Lewis Neary, on the come up, I was always, fairly impressed, to be quite honest. Um, I was impressed with how he beat Yamanaka first time around, but obviously after that, it came out he failed a drug test. And in the rematch, he failed to make weight. He beat Yamanaka again. And since that Yamanaka incident, I've kind of been a bit down on him. But I do rate him as a fighter. I think he applies pressure well. He carries power. Um, he's a good fighter, and I think he would have been a problem. But I'm just waiting for him to step up. To step up again. Need to clear my throat. But yeah, I like Lewis Neary as a fighter. I think he's pretty good. I don't think he would have beaten Inoue though, or maybe he would have beaten Tete, but I wouldn't pick him to beat Inoue. Defensively, Lewis Neary too open in my opinion. Tivitap, all right, Del Boy. Who do you think Eubank Jr. can beat who is world class at super middleweight or middleweight, or is there no one? That's a really good question, actually. Who do I think he can beat? At middleweight, I'll be honest, I think it's very hard for him. I would like to see him fight Jamal Charlo at middleweight, just because I'm not as sold on Charlo at middleweight as a lot of people. I think that would be a really good fight. But apart from Charlo, I don't think there's anybody he can really beat at middleweight. At super middleweight, I mean, I think the champions are a lot weaker in that division. I still think Caleb Plant needs to prove a bit more. Maybe that's a winnable fight. I would favour Plant, but I think Eubank would have a chance. Other than that, is there anyone at 168 Eubank could beat who's world class? I actually think he would give. I think he'd give Gilberto Ramirez a tough fight, but I don't think he'd beat him. I don't think he'd beat Callum Smith. Would he beat David Benavidez? I mean, David Benavidez, people rate him highly, but David Benavidez is very unproven. I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't pick Eubank Jr. to beat a world class fighter right now, personally, no. I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but I just don't think he's top 5 in either division, to be honest. Yeah, that's a good point, ABC Def. He mentions that Plant stamina, kind of needs to improve. He starts quite quickly, but he slows down. Yep, I agree with that. I mean, look at the Uskatigi fight and also the Porky Medina fight as well. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe Eubank Jr. down the stretch against Caleb Plant would be a problem. ABC Def also thinks Lewis Neary would KO Nai Inoue. Too big, and he's just an absolute cheat. Yeah. Yeah, ABC Def, Selecki versus Charlo. I've said that in the past as well. Good fight. Oh, I didn't mean to hide that. Jay's Boxing Universe. Delboy, do you think Smith is really the best at 168? I hang on. I would go as far as saying who stops? Oh, Benavidez stops Smith with ease. I'm not sold on Benavidez, to be quite honest. I mean, Benavidez, yeah, he's got the hand speed. He carries power. He's young, but he's very unproven. I mean, he went life and death with Gavril. Gavril is a fringe contender at best, and other than that, he's not really beat anybody. He's beat Porky Medina. His two best wins are Porky Medina and Gavril. To me, that's not enough proof for how good Benavidez is yet. Um, how good is Benavidez as a boxer? We've not seen him, take a punch. We've not seen him sort of deal with different styles. I'm not ready to jump on the Benavidez hype just yet. He looks the part, in what we've seen so far for the most part, but he's not really done much. He's not really done much in my opinion. Fat Apples, he says Benavidez ain't done nothing except duck the World Boxing Super Series. To be fair, he's been too busy snorting coke. He's been having a good time. But yeah, Benavidez looks like a good prospect, but it's far too early to tell, in my opinion. I think Smith is a big guy for the weight. He can punch hard, solid boxing skills. He'd be a tough fight for Benavidez right now. See, I'd like to see Benavidez fight Gilberto Ramirez. I know that's not going to happen, but that would have been a great fight. ABC Def says he had Gavril winning the first fight. I think I had Benavidez just about edging it, but I've not seen that fight for quite some time. Fat Apples, he says only Jacobs gives Smith a decent fight stepping up. Yeah, I think Jacobs would give him a tough fight. What about Canelo? If Canelo steps up, I think he'd beat Smith. Personally, I think he'd outbox him. Or maybe Smith is too big for Canelo. Who knows? Jay's Boxing Universe. How far can Josh Taylor go? Can he compete at 147 one day? I think he's big enough. He's got work to do at 140, but if he clears out 140 or does significant things at 140, I don't see no reason why he can't move up and have success. What's up, Unrivaled Boxing Talk? How you doing? Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well. What about yourself? Formerly McGregor to the chat. Check his channel out as well. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. ABC Def, I feel Smith is chinny, but he's all good right now. I don't think he's chinny. I think, he's fairly sturdy, to be honest. He took some good punches off George Groves. George Groves can punch pretty hard at 168. I think his chin is pretty good. Are you uploading your first pre-recorded video? Wow, in 3 months. Okay, I'll have to. I'll check that out once I've done. Yeah, as I said, for everybody in the chat, if you get a moment, check out Unrivaled Boxing Talks channel. He's a good lad, knows his stuff, both historically and current day. Boxing Brains, Callum Johnson versus Sean Monahan is pretty rubbish. He looks good, but he's too slow. Yeah, that fight is... I don't really like it, to be honest. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's just another example of Eddie Hearn's DAZN deal diluting the UK boxing product. Callum Smith should be fighting in the UK. Callum Smith he shouldn't be shipped out to America to fight Sean Monahan. Callum Smith should be fighting on Sky Sports against the likes of Joshua Buatsi or Jose Burton, people like that. But no, he's getting shipped out to the States and we get a less product as a result. You know, Eddie Hearn's got all of these dates, and, you know, the UK boxing fans are the ones who, you know, our quality goes down at the end of the day and we're paying the most. So, yeah, I don't care for that fight. Callum Johnson, he should beat Sean Monahan, and it is what it is. I don't like that fight at all. I don't like what it represents for us UK boxing fans personally. And you know what's going to happen after that? Callum Johnson is going to fight Dimitri Bivol. Yeah, I agree, ABC Def. I think Groves' power was underrated. And yeah, he should have scored a few knockdowns against Eubank Jr. Unrivaled Boxing Talk, he says, do you think Smith will be undone by anyone at 168? Maybe if Bivol goes down, I could see Bivol having a bit too much agility and movement for Callum Smith. I think Bivol could beat him. Canelo, if Canelo moves up. But, you know, in terms of the active guys at 168 right now, I wouldn't really pick anybody to beat him, including Benavidez. Boxing brains, I think Allen versus Brown should at least have a WBA Intercontinental belt at stake. Get Dave a belt. I watched bits of Lucas Brown versus Sokolovsky, and Lucas Brown looked pretty poor. You know, he looked a lot weaker than before. Didn't look like his punches carried the same power. The jab was all over the place. He got dropped. You know, Lucas Brown is shot. It's just whether he's shot enough for Dave Allen to get the win. You know? But yeah, I'm kind of cold on that fight. I'm not really looking forward to it. Lucas Brown versus Dave Allen. Team Groves, what do you think the PBC will do with Eubank Jr.? Very good question, actually. Very good question. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to chuck him in with Caleb Plant, maybe. Maybe they could try and get him in there with Anthony Durrell. They've got a couple of fighters out there for him, but you know, I don't know. It's a good question. I would still like to see Eubank Jr. versus Jose Uzcategui. I think that'd be a really good fight. That'd be a barn burner. But obviously, that's not going to happen. ABC, it's going to happen. Callum Johnson, he's going to beat Sean Monahan, and then he's going to fight Bivol. That is what will happen, 100%. Because all the other light heavyweights are on Top Rank for the most part, and Marcus Brown is with PBC. So Bivol needs opponents, and I'm sure Callum Johnson will be his first opponent. Or sorry, his next opponent. AA Boxing and Blunts, Lucas Brown is going to beat Allen and then Price. Originally, I would 100% agree with you, but I saw him in that Sokolovsky fight and he looked pretty poor. None of these guys are great. Maybe Dave Allen can knock out Lucas Brown. I can't believe I said that. But Lucas Brown looked awful against Sokolovsky. Having said that, is Dave Allen as good as Sokolovsky? You know? I don't know. ABC Def, who do you think wins Vodzik versus Bivol? What would happen? He says Vodzik by late TKO. I think Bivol on points personally. Unrivaled boxing talk. Smith versus Plant. Who you got? I would lean towards Callum Smith. I think he's just far more proven, far more consistent, a bigger puncher, bigger guy at the weight. I would pick Callum Smith to win the fight down the stretch, probably by late knockout. Team Groves, Plant versus Eubanks Jr. I would favour Plant. I think we can all agree that Plant's style is pretty bad for Eubanks Jr. But do I rate Plant as highly as Billy Joe Saunders in terms of pure boxing ability? No. Do I think he's as good a super middleweight as George Groves? No. So I would give Eubanks Jr. a chance versus Caleb Plant. But yeah, I'd certainly make Plant a favourite. Yeah, unrivaled boxing talk. I think I said it the other day. I would. I think I. You know what? I think I would pick Sokolovsky to beat Dave Allen. But still, Lucas Brown looked really bad against him, and he looked like a shot fighter. Yeah, that's another thing. Team Groves. Callum Smith is huge for the weight. ABC had Kamil Sokolovsky beating Lucas Brown. I've heard a few people say it. I've not seen the full fight yet. I've only kind of skimmed through it, but I've not scored it. 54 Trail Swan. Why did Bivol sign to DAZN? Everybody else is on ESPN. Good question. Probably money. Kovalev, I'm pretty sure, is a free agent. I think he can fight anywhere. So he's in a good position. He could fight on the PBC against Marcus Brown. He could fight on Top Rank against Beterbiev or Vodzik. Or he could fight on DAZN against Bivol. So Kovalev has got the right idea right now. He's got a lot of options, So maybe that's the best way to be right now. What's up, Aobs? How you doing? 54 Trail Swan. He said Vodzik is the worst champ at 175. That's a big shout because he's coming off a really good win over Stevenson. I know some people will say Stevenson was old, but he was a long reigning champion and the lineal champion. That's a good win. If I were to say the weakest champion, I would probably say Beterbiev, just because he's shown signs of vulnerabilities already. So I would say he's the weakest. Not saying he can't beat everybody else, but if I had to rank it, I would rate Beterbiev as the fourth best. And I know that could be controversial. I know a lot of people out there rate him highly, and I rate him, but yeah, I would put Beterbiev at number 4 right now. Yeah, Sokolovsky has that sort of high-level journeyman resume, no doubt. Aobs thinks all the champions beat Crusher. They could do. Kovalev, I think we can all agree. He's seen better days. The aura's gone. But at the same time, he's experienced, and on his day, he's a handful for anybody. Light heavyweight, the fights just need to happen. They do. They just need to happen. Boxing brains. Dubois and Gorman were both avoiding Nick Webb, weren't they? I think, wasn't Nick Webb ordered to fight Daniel Dubois at one point, but they went a separate route? I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. Yeah, Team Groves, it's kind of a lose-lose for Dave. Brown's looked poor, so he's kind of expected to win. And if he does lose, yeah, it's going to be damaging because a lot of people are going to remember Lucas Brown getting flatlined by Dillian White. And he's not looked good for quite some time. So if Dave Allen were to lose, it's not a good look. Yeah, that was it, Boxing Brains. English title, yeah. 54 Terrell Swan, Badu Jack, he took everything out of Stevenson. Vodzik is more vulnerable than Beterbiev. Yeah, I think Vodzik is vulnerable. I recall the fight with Tommy Karpency. He got dropped in that fight. Didn't look too hot against Mehdi Amar either. Yeah, he's definitely beatable. He's definitely beatable. Who's your number one flyweight? Edwards for me is good, but he has to beat Dalakian or Tanaka for me. Yep. I think flyweight right now is kind of up in the air, personally. Edwards does have a really good win over Rosales. I think that was a good win. I didn't expect him to win that fight, so I give him all the credit in the world. But, Dalakian's a good fighter. He can box. And as we know, Tanaka, a really good fighter as well. Those guys need to unify. There's no excuse for those guys not to unify, to be honest. Thank you, Jake. Thank you. Hang on. Is Lucas Brown versus Dave Allen going to headline at the O2? Is that going to be the headliner? That can't be. That'd be crazy. Yeah, I thought the same thing, ABC Death. I felt it was going to be eerily similar to the John Riel Casemiro fight. I felt Rosales was going to bully Charlie Edwards. I didn't think Edwards had the power to keep Rosales honest, personally. I felt he had the skills to sort of mess him around for a few rounds, but I felt Rosales would get to him. But to be fair to Edwards, he boxed really well. I was really impressed. A fight I didn't expect him to win, like I said. So I'll give him all the credit. I was going to say Team Groves. That would be crazy. Dave Allen headlining at VO2. Jesus. The thing is, though, that card, I'm sure, was originally supposed to be a pay-per-view, wasn't it? Eddie Hearn's, his pay-per-view plans right now are failing. It's good for us. I mean, his first pay-per-view is in June. Miller versus Joshua. And I doubt anything will be scheduled before then. Could you imagine that unrivaled? Dave Allen headlining at VO2. Fucking hell. If he does it, fair play to him, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, Team Groves, they have. They've been really poor. Really, really, really poor. I said it at the end of last year. I felt Matchroom and Sky in particular had a really bad year. And to me, this year hasn't started any better, to be honest. I think the Liverpool card coming up, to be fair, is pretty decent. I like Fowler versus Fitzgerald. I think it's a good fight. You've got David Price versus Cash Ali. David Price is always going to be in fun fights. Joe Hughes versus Robbie Davis Jr. is a great domestic fight. And then you have Liam Smith versus Sam Eggington, which isn't too good, but that card itself is pretty good. But yeah, I mean, the UK cards this year have been poor. And it's not just Eddie Hearn, to be fair. Frank Warren, I mean, the next couple of Warren cards, I mean, You've got the one on Friday. You've got Dubois versus Kajanu. You've got Yard fighting another road sweeper. You've got Johnny Garton defending his British title at welterweight against a super lightweight. You know, these are poor cards. Really, really poor. The Leicester card coming up for Frank Warren is terrible. You know, they're putting out crap at the minute. They're putting out crap. Yeah, McGregor, I'll send you I'll send you an invite in a second. I'll send you it on Twitter, I think, because I still haven't got the hang of this, to be quite honest. Unless I know, yeah, I'll think I'll do it on Twitter, mate. To be honest. Let me just I need to log into it. Yeah, 54 Trail Swan. I said earlier, you know, this year the quality of boxing has been fairly poor. It started really slowly. AOBs, I can see Sky working with others soon. Hearn playing with fire, focusing on America. It's a good point. Maybe they will start to look at other promoters because the quality of product Hearn's putting out right now, in my opinion, isn't great. And that's just how I feel about it. Okay, 1 second. McGregor. Okay. See, I'm not really sure how to do it, McGregor. Do I just put your name in the invite bit? Try this. See, I'm not good with this sort of thing. I'm young, but I'm not good with this. It's rubbish. No, this ain't working, man. Do you fancy Sean Porter to win on Saturday? Yeah, I'm picking Sean Porter. I think he'll start slowly. I think Ugas will start well, but I think Porter down the stretch will get on top of him. He'll get on the inside. He'll start to push Ugas back, and he'll take him out late on. Ugas, you know, he has had stamina issues in the past. Go back to the Thomas Delorme fight. Started really well in that fight, but faded down the stretch. And you know, if you've got stamina problems, the last fighter you want to share the ring with is Sean Porter. You know, Sean Porter, game as they come, super tough, super strong physically. You know, if your stamina's not up to par, he's going to find you out. He really is. Okay, cheers, McGregor. Right, I think I've sent it, mate. Chris Hayes, who is Callum Smith fighting next? No idea. No idea. I mean, very quiet on the Callum Smith front right now. I heard he's fighting in America, but whether that's true or not, I don't know. Nick Higgins, by the time Matchroom's contract runs out of the sky, he thinks DAZN will be in the UK. Yeah, maybe. I fucking
Yo,
hope so. Oh, what's up, mate?
what's up? What's up?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Gosh, man, I can't believe how slow you are with that stuff. It's like if you have anybody on like any contact list, you're able to actually send them the link automatically. I'll show you how to do that later.
Oh, nice. Nah,
Yeah,
I'm still getting used to it, mate. Getting used to it. Technical difficulties
yeah.
and all that. Yeah, but no. Anything you're looking forward to coming up, or
Um.
no?
Oh God, not really. I mean, there isn't really much excitement at the moment, is there?
No. I was saying it earlier. I mean, the first couple of months of 2019 have been pretty poor. Nothing really to get excited about. I mean, I was kind of excited by Lara Castano. I felt it was a sleeper fight and I enjoyed it. But apart from that, there's not really been anything happening. It's
No,
been
not
really, really
really.
poor.
I mean, I enjoyed and I was excited by Planting this Katsuge because I thought it was a
Oh,
very, very
yeah,
even matchup. I really did think it was a 50-50 going into it. I thought Plant's a good boxer. This Katsuge is a good fighter. It'll make for some good viewing.
yeah,
But I was kind of excited to see Lopez and Thurman. I thought Lopez would give him a little bit of trouble considering how long Keith's been out. And if you don't get Lopez out of there early and you're off a 2.5 year layoff, it's going to be a struggle.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So other than that, I can't really think of anything that's made me go, yeah, I'm excited for this at the moment. I
Mm.
mean, heavyweight action trash so far this year.
I take 100%, 100%. It's been a big
Nothing,
disappointment.
nothing in the cruiserweight division.
No.
Uh, have we had anything so far yet this year at 175? We had Marcus
Oh,
Brown and Badu Jack, which I was excited about.
yeah.
Very excited.
Kovalev
Al-
Alvarez too. That's good. Yeah.
that's a good fight. That might be the like in terms of watching it, it wasn't, but in terms of the competitiveness, the light heavyweight is probably put on the two best fights this year.
It has, yeah. No, I'd agree with that. I'd
Um,
agree, yeah.
like if you remember, a lot of people were 50-50 or even in favor of Badu Jack
Yeah.
to beat Marcus Brown. So that was a very good result and a brutal fight that's turned into a meme at this stage.
Yeah, I know. Nasty, wasn't it? Nasty, nasty cut. I mean,
Bloody turned into a slot machine, man.
I remember talking about it before the fight happened, and yeah, I was looking forward to that fight. I felt Brown would have a good chance. I picked Badu Jack, but I felt Brown was a live dog, and turned out he was more than a
Yeah.
live dog. He
Well,
boxed really well.
I remember on somebody's hangout, I can't remember whose. I remember saying Marcus Brown's going to move and jab, and Badu Jack's going to be overextending a lot more than normal.
Yeah,
And I was right.
you were. Yeah, he got made to lead, and he was always falling short. Marcus Brown just had his way with him. Easy. It was almost easy for Marcus Brown, to be honest.
Would you consider Marcus Brown the chief prospect at 175? Even though he might not be considered a prospect, he kind of still is.
I would say this: out of all of the guys who don't have a belt, I'm kind of the highest on him right now. If that makes sense. Out of all the guys who don't have a belt, he's the guy I'm most excited about. To be honest.
Not Buatsi?
Nah, not yet. Need to see a lot more.
Not Anthony Yarde?
Definitely not. No, I don't think Yarde is going to go as far as people say personally, but that's just my opinion. I think they're hiding something.
Yeah.
I think they know something's wrong with him, whether it's his chin, his stamina, his just all-round ability, whatever it is, they're hiding.
I don't think it's a stamina. If I'm being honest.
Do you not?
I think it's his chin. If there's something wrong, it's his chin. Or being honest with you, his ability to. I don't think it might be his chin. I think he might have quit in him rather than a bad chin.
Yeah. You could be right. Yeah. I mean,
because I seen him get tagged a little bit today. He was doing like training. It's on IFL,
Yeah,
And you know the big fat guy in his camp who has the thing around his stomach all the time, who's screaming, "We don't get weak, we get deep."
yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah,
Tundi, but the other one.
yeah.
He was pretty much like, he started like smacking him with the mitts, and they turned it into a spar session. And he caught Yard with a left hook, and I saw Yard's facial expression completely change. And I
Mm,
mean completely change. He looked angry and upset at the same time.
yeah, yeah. It's just hard, man. It's hard to get excited about Yard. You know, it's just. I mean, Travis Reeves this weekend. I mean, who's Travis Reeves? Do
But
you know what I
should he
mean?
be fighting? Should he really be fighting at a higher level? Like, the
If they're
video
talking,
I made a few minutes ago is, in all honesty, me playing devil's advocate, right? But I made it on Anthony Yard, and the video is called "Hype Job" or "Hate Job"
yeah,
because I'm seeing just as much hate as I am hype.
yeah, I get what you mean, but at the same time, if you're saying Kovalev is next, then I mean, what I think you can criticize him fighting Travis Reeves beforehand. Do you know what I mean? I mean, in what way would, in what way
But
is
only about 15 months ago, he was fighting for a Southern Area title.
it's true, but in that case, he and his team, why are they even trying to maneuver themselves as number one rated in an organization if they're not ready for
Well, to be
fighting
fair,
top
he's with
guys?
Frank Warren. He's with Frank Warren. If you're with Frank Warren, you're going to
Yeah,
get a top 3 WBO spot automatically.
yeah. And the way I see it, I criticize Eddie Hearn for like, selling people and saying his fighters are going to fight this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. I mean, I've got to do the same for Frank Warren. I mean, he's saying Yard's the best. He's saying Yard can beat anybody. He's saying Yard is better than British level. Fight above British level then. I
I'd
mean,
like to. I would like to see it. Right. I'd like to see it, but maybe he's not at that level. And if Frank's doing his job, he's being a boxing promoter, isn't he? He's promoting his fighter. His fighter is way more known than he should be for his fights.
you can make that argument, but at the same time,
He's a lot higher ranked as well than his fights would suggest. Personally, I
yeah,
blame the sanctioning bodies more than anyone.
no, it's true. The sanctioning bodies can be brought back, can't they? Like you said, it's Frank Warren, WBO. It's the Warren boxing organization, isn't it? I mean,
Good
how
old
that guy's
Bishoys.
how he's number one rated, I don't know. And listen, the way I'll say it is like this: time will tell. If Yard gets cleaned out by Kovalev next, then I can say I'm right because my whole thing is the guy hasn't been matched properly. Has he had learning fights? Has he fought
No.
different styles? You know, has he been put through his paces? Do we know anything more about Yard now than we knew 2 years ago? No, we don't know anything more now about Yard than we did a couple of years ago. So if he jumps in with Kovalev next and gets absolutely flattened, then it's been a poor development, I suppose. It's been a poor strategy by Warren and Tunji, whatever his name is. So
Sunday Ajayi.
yeah, I mean, I just find it hard to get excited about Yard. I find it hard to, just even give him like the light of day, to be honest. And I can recognise for a guy who started late, for a guy who doesn't have many amateur fights, he does have very good talent. Yeah, and he's picked up boxing very quickly. He's obviously a quick learner. He's obviously got a lot of physical attributes. He's quick. He can punch. I'm not saying he's got nothing going for him because I believe he's talented, but all I'm asking for is
he's also a good talker.
He is a good talker. He's eloquent. But all I'm asking is just little step up fights. I'm not asking him to fight Kovalev next. I'm asking him to fight Hosea Burton. I'm asking him to fight Shabaranski.
Before Ricky Summers lost, would you have been happy if he had fought Ricky Summers?
Yeah, I think it's a perfectly acceptable fight.
Is Ricky Summers better than Darius Sek? I think Darius Sek could beat Ricky Summers.
I don't know about that.
Oh. What about Sokolovsky?
Sokolovsky?
No, the dude, what's Sedlaka. There we go.
Yeah. No, actually, at the time, I actually thought that was a good fight for him.
Do you think that he would beat Ricky Summers? I do.
So
Ricky Summers lost to Anders Silver.
He did, but we know that in hindsight.
Mm.
I
I
mean,
never rated Ricky myself, but Hosea Bourton, I think, would be an amazing step up because I think Bourton would beat anybody on Yard's resume, personally speaking.
yeah, he would struggle with Serge Locker maybe, but apart from that, yeah, I'd agree. I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is with
I'm not asking him to fight Callum Johnson, by the way, because I think Johnson's European.
yeah, no, I agree. Oh, you've cut out by the way. Oh
No,
yeah, you're
I
back.
muted myself.
Okay.
I think Callum Johnson's European level and
Yeah, yeah,
fringe world level. And I think he proved that against Beterbiev with how competitive he was, even though the fight didn't last. He only had one round in 2.5 years or something like
exactly. But
that.
I mean, another fight I mentioned for Anthony Yard was Bob Ajasafe, Southpaw. You know, he'd be a good test for Anthony Yard. Ajasafe.
I know who he is.
Yeah, that'd be a really
I
good
know
test.
who he is.
Different style. He's awkward. He's defensively cute. That's a proper learning fight. That's what I'm saying. I'm not asking Yard to fight a killer. Do you know what I mean? I'm asking just fight somebody who actually has ambition. Fight somebody who's not going to lay down for a paycheck. You know, I mean, look at and how is Yard dealing with this opposition? Is he excelling doing it? I
He's
think
knocking him out.
Yeah, but look at Avalanche. I mean, look at Buatsi compared to Yard. And I know you can't compare, but to me, it looked like different levels.
Yeah, but Yard, to me, it looked like Yard was taking his time and Buatsi was trying to get him out of there.
See, to me, I don't know though, because Buatsi, to me, he's always been a guy who he doesn't rush his work. He's not like a wham bang thank you ma'am type fighter. He'll just take his time. He'll pick his shots.
He was a wham bam thank you ma'am against Avalanche. He really was. He went in there with killer intentions. I thought I was watching a light heavyweight Wilder for a minute.
Nah, man. I see. I think Buatsi's far. He's really what. I'll be honest. I criticise. I've onto Buatsi actually. It's funny you say it. I think he needs to start getting moved along quickly now. To be honest, because he's got a greater amateur background than Yard, so I think he needs to start getting pushed. And I think
did he win bronze?
He did.
Yeah, he's a bronze Olympian.
Yeah,
that's a high level as an amateur. That's excessively high. Was he a Commonwealth champion too in the amateurs? I think he might have been.
I think he medaled, didn't he?
Yeah, something like along those lines. So he's got an excessively strong background.
Yeah.
The thing for me is, and I know this goes against the purpose of being a boxing fan, right? And wanting to see the best fighters fight each other. I don't really want to see what's become a staple because of Matchroom. Matchroom have created this staple where after 13, 14, 15 fights, guys are fighting at world level. And right now we're seeing a huge decline in the talent level at British because like the Gale's gone, Groves is gone. Like the main guys are kind of going away now.
Yeah.
We've no longer got Froch or whatever. We have like Cans at the end of his tether, Pope, Brooks at the end of his tether. Like the main guys are all going. Who do we really have? Fury, Joshua, Dillian White, and Billy Joe Saunders, and maybe Callum Smith. Can you name any more world level guys?
I suppose you could say Charlie Edwards, based on his win over Rosales. Whether that's a flash in the pan or not.
That's a good win. That's a good win. I think Kosei Tanaka would cause him problems. I don't think Rosales is as good as Sho Kimura, personally. I think Sho Kimura is an exceptional fighter. Yeah. And I think even though it was a tight win, Tanaka, he's tied with Lomachenko, correct?
He is. Yeah.
For fights becoming a 3-weight world champion?
Yeah. He's tied it. Yeah, he tied it. Yeah.
After 12 fights each, the only difference is he had a 100% win ratio.
Yeah.
So that's quite exceptional.
I think Delakian will give Edwards problems as well. To be honest,
definitely, very good fighter. Yeah. The flyweight division is buzzing. The same with the 115-pound division. The 115-pound division is strong. That's a strong division.
It has been though for a few years now, hasn't it? It's been a good
Yeah, well,
delivery.
we've got Siriskat, or Rungvisai, as most people might call him.
I fucking love him,
Who
by the way. He's a great fighter, Rung Basai.
He's exceptional, but so is Estrada. I love Estrada too. I think they're fucking fantastic. We still have Chocolatito murking around there, and if guys are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he's finished," I'm telling you right now, I would not put Yafai into the ring with Chocolatito.
I said it on another stream, I think. Listen, Gonzalez, he would eat your fight for breakfast. It wouldn't be pretty. I think he'd maul him. He'd beat him up.
He's still elite. Just because you lose twice to Rungvisai doesn't mean you're not elite.
Yeah,
Rungvisai is a pound for pound guy, like for a reason. Pound for
yeah,
pound, he's one of the biggest punchers in boxing.
yeah. Do you know the sad thing about Gonzalez though? So obviously, towards the end of his run, he got pushed by HBO, and at the time,
Yes.
obviously, there's like a big contingent of people who were anti-HBO. So
Hmm.
automatically they branded Gonzalez as a hype job just because HBO were pushing Gonzalez. And to
Uh-huh.
me, that just, if any fighter didn't deserve to be called a hype job at that time, it was Gonzalez. Look at his body of work. Look at the people he fought, Quadras, Estrada.
Was he a 4-weight or 5-weight world
I
champ?
think he was a full weight at the time. I'm pretty
And he's
sure.
a hype job.
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean,
I mean, I know people are like, well, look at Broner's a 4-weight world champion. Different. Broner didn't go and beat the guy in each division, whereas
exactly.
Gonzalez did at the time.
I mean, Yagashi as
That's
well, another win. Akira
yeah,
Yagashi. It's a great win. Um,
phenomenal.
I mean, Gonzalez went on a tear before he got beat by Rungvisai. I know he had a couple of close fights to Quadras and Estrada, but that's going to happen when you're fighting great competition, you know? And that really pissed me off, I'll be honest. When people called him a hype job, it really pissed me off, to be honest.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve that.
Outside of your fight, do you think he can beat any of the other champions at 115? Chocolatito.
Mm,
Do you think he?
would I pick him to beat anybody else, anyone else apart from Yufai?
Yeah, any of the champions at 115 outside of Kal Yafai.
Shit, I don't know.
Well, the champions are like Ankahas, Rung Vasai, and Donny Nietes.
He won't be. He's not beating Rungvisai. Ankahas is a weird one because he seems to blow hot and cold.
But when he blows hot, he blows fire.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in his last fight against the Argentinian gentleman, against Barrios, I felt he
Yeah,
lost that fight, to be quite honest. And Gonzalez against that version of Ankahas,
knocks him out.
I think I'd pick him, yeah. But for Gonzalez, who, you know, maybe beat Sultan or beat Conlon, this is a tougher fight.
What about would he
Yeah,
beat Nietes?
I think he would,
That that's a fantastic fight, by the
I
way.
think he
I'm just
beats
saying it.
Nietes.
I think Donny Nietes. I don't think he'd be able to deal with Gonzalez's power, but I think Gonzalez would be troubling to land cleanly constantly against Nietes because Nietes is very effective. He's a very effective fighter. He's very good at getting onto the inside and the outside and getting that jab off and just doing enough, you know?
Yeah, he's one of those fighters. Like when you look at him, he's pretty much good at everything. There's no glaring weakness. He can do everything. He takes care of himself in there. Defensively, he's pretty good. He's awkward. He's cute. He's a really good boxer. And to be fair to him, at his age, in that weight class, he's still going really well.
Well, he's a 4-weight world champion too, isn't he? Nietes.
Yeah. To be fair though, what did you think of his fight with Ioka?
I thought it was a draw.
I see. I had Ioka nicking it.
But you
it
see,
wasn't a robbery,
at the same point, I thought he beat Aston Pelikte.
Yeah, I've still not
and
seen that fight.
I genuinely thought he was robbed. He was given a draw against Pelikte, and then he fought Ioka. But I thought he won 9 rounds to 3 against Pelikte, and they gave it a draw. I was actually disgusted. The he actually did a lot more, like in terms of the output in that fight as well. Like
Yeah.
Palikte won the first couple of rounds, and that from that point onwards, it was just like Vietes took over, like took him to school.
Mm.
And well, against Ioka had a lot of volume in that fight, didn't he?
He did.
Like in certain moments,
He forced the pace to me. Like he was the guy who was, you know, he was the active guy. He was the aggressor, and I felt his work was a bit more effective personally. I felt he looked more comfortable for most of the fight, and I just felt he edged it. It wasn't a robbery or anything like that. I felt genuinely could have gone either way, but I just felt he nicked it personally. And what do you reckon? Let's say we're talking about Gonzalez, a rematch with Estrada. Who wins that?
I think Estrada wins it right now.
I think I'd have to agree. To be honest,
I think Estrada, yeah. But it's a pick'em fight. It is a pick'em fight. I'd say I'm 55-45 on that fight.
You'd say Estrada has a bit more left in the tank.
Yeah, I think Chocolatito's getting a little bit like we saw him last time out. He looked a little bit fleshy, and I think he is getting a bit fleshy. I don't think he should really be fighting at that weight. I think he's too heavy. I think he should be. I think he should be fighting a weight division down. I think 112 is perfect for him. 115 onwards, I think you're pushing it, and people are like, "Oh, it's only 3 pounds." He's a small man. He's not walking around above 125 pounds. He's not.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Like if he was, he'd literally be looking like Nassim
Hamid. Yeah, exactly. But no, he's been a credit to the sport, as far as I'm concerned.
I think he's been a phenomenal boxer. I think too many guys, they just say, because he lost to Rungvisai. Rungvisai, for hardcore boxing fans, right now is a consensus top 10 pound for pound.
Yep.
And in some people's eyes, maybe even a top 5. For me, he's my number 6, and I think that's a very good place to be.
It's certainly fair. I mean...
There's arguments for him to be higher as well. The wins over Estrada and Gonzalez. Who has better wins right now in any division? Very few.
It's hard to think. You can't really.
Those two guys, because let's be real, Estrada. Could Estrada be considered a pound for pound top 15, 20 guy? Yeah,
I think he's been near the top 10 at some points. I'm pretty sure
he actually has been in the top 10 once.
Yeah,
once. He was there for 2 weeks. In 2015, I believe.
Yeah, I remember.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So, and Roman Gonzalez, as we all know, was pound for pound number 1.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was pound for pound number 1 for what? Was it a year or 2? Yeah.
I think it was about 15 months.
Yeah, about a year. Yeah, just over a year.
And he went and beat those guys.
Exactly. You know, and plus guys like Akira Higashi, you know, that's a good win. He's got loads of names on the resume when you go through it. He's always taken challenges. He's always fought the best, and he'll continue to do so. So, okay, hang on. Let's a couple of people in the chat. Alonzo Brunettes, that's from Carnival. Brunettes. 100%.
Carnival, precise.
Yeah. Corey Lee Boxing, what's up, mate? How you doing? Okay, yeah, nothing too much here. Okay, is Tony Bellew underrated? Yes or no? That is from Charlie Braddock. Tony Bellew.
Underrated or overrated?
He's just saying, is he underrated? Yes or no? I'm going to say no.
I don't think he's underrated.
I think Bellew is one of those guys who he got.
I don't think he's overrated. By the way, I think he's overachieved.
That's what I was about to say. Considering the skills that he's got, he got a hell of a lot out of the sport, and he achieved well. He overachieved. He done a lot more than I expected. I mean, I didn't even expect him to beat Makabu. In all honesty,
I did. I personally did. I never rated Makabu. But what I will ask you is if I had have asked you when he first fought Nathan Cleverly that Tony Bellew would become the WBC Cruiserweight World Champion and go on and be competitive with a pound-for-pound top-5 guy and beat David Haye twice at heavyweight, what would you have told me?
I'd have called you crazy. 100% I'd have called you crazy. But, he's...
I didn't predict that the pound-for-pound shit, but I did predict he'd be a Cruiserweight World Champion.
Yeah. No, to be fair, though, I think the Haye fights were... I know it's easy to say in hindsight.
Timing.
Yeah, timing. They were picked very well. Right time. Corey Lee Boxing saying Klitschko's been in talks of making a comeback. Can he beat the top heavyweights? What do you reckon?
Yeah. It depends on who you consider to be the top heavyweights.
He could look at the top 10 now, look at some of the names in there. He can certainly still beat top 10 guys. I think we can both agree on that.
He'd beat Pulev.
He'd beat Pulev. He'd beat Brazil if you class him as top 10. He'd still beat Ortiz. I don't care what anyone says. He'd beat Luis Ortiz.
He'd beat Povetkin.
Yeah. You'd still call him a world-class heavyweight.
I think he'd beat Dillian Whyte and Joseph Parker as well. And probably Kownacki. I think he'd beat all of them.
Oh, he'd beat Kownacki. Oh, that'd be ugly. Vladimir versus Kownacki.
I don't know if he'd beat Miller.
If he's still got his legs, I think he would.
If he does. But Miller's pressure is serious business.
I think you're right about Dillian Whyte. If Vlad has anything left in the legs, he should beat Dillian. Dillian's horrible at judging the distance, and
Vladimir's elite at judging the distance.
He'll just jab his head off, and when Dillian gets close,
the only person I've ever seen beat Vladimir Klitschko in a jab battle is Tyson Fury, and now that we've seen how good Tyson Fury is, really, through the years, there's no shame. There's no shame at being 40 and losing the jab battle to Tyson Fury.
I don't think he even lost the jab battle, though. I think he just fell for the feints. He fell for the movement.
Lost the mental war, didn't he? He lost a bit of the mental war.
Yeah. I just think he froze. Fury had him in a spell, and Vladimir just didn't know how to kind of get out of it.
Fair enough.
And
you actually have a good point there.
And by the time Vlad started to throw his hands, 11 and 12, he actually had some success. I think he hurt. Did he hurt Tyson in round 11? He buzzed him. I'm sure
a little bit, but Tyson buzzed him back in 12.
Yeah.
But here's a question for you. In terms of did he lose a jab battle with AJ? I think he won the jab contest against AJ.
Oh yeah, he won the he to me he was outboxing AJ.
Right. But, so here's the question: who else have you seen outbox Anthony Joshua? He's fought against a lot of good level guys.
Povetkin.
Nobody.
Povetkin outboxed.
Povetkin didn't. What, for 2 rounds?
Maybe for 3 or 4.
He didn't. Not the 4th. Definitely not the 4th.
Certainly for the first 3.
Yeah, sure. And then AJ started to win the jab, but Povetkin wasn't winning a jab contest with AJ, was he?
No, he wasn't really. To be fair.
No, he was coming onto the inside and beating him up. Yeah. So, if you really think about it, nobody's beating AJ in a jab battle.
To be fair, who's fought AJ who can beat him in a jab battle? Maybe Parker's got a good jab. Yeah, you could say. Yeah. To me, I felt Parker gave him problems from the outside.
At moments, yeah.
Yeah.
For moments.
His movement gave Joshua problems. And that's what kind of makes me think Fury would beat Joshua. I think he'd struggle to time Fury.
I can see AJ doing something though, and AJ would invest a lot more to Tyson Fury's body than anyone else has. He does jab to the body and he mixes it up. He's not going head hunting against Fury, and Fury's head movement is the highest level in the heavyweight division, but his lateral body movement is kind of shocking.
Yeah, it's true. His trunk is quite stationary. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a good point. And Joshua, to his credit, he seems like a good adjuster. He adjusted to Povetkin. He adjusted to Klitschko.
He's patient. He's shown that he's become patient as well, which you would need to be. So I don't know who I'd pick in that fight. I think it's a pick 'em. I think that the top 3 guys against each other are pick 'ems because I think two of them are capable of knocking you out in any round, and the other one's capable of like jabbing your fucking face to pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The mental warfare with Fury AJ would kind of really like intrigue me. Like Fury could have AJ, very wound up, very
Rattled.
emotionally invested going into the fight. I mean, we see how Joshua responded to Jarrell Miller. He clearly didn't like Miller's tongue, and Miller's not a clever trash talker. He just says, you know, childish nonsense. Fury's a proper trash talker, and I think that would get to AJ, and it would be interesting to see how he would deal with that. Whether it would, impede on his composure in the fight, whether it would affect him on fight night, fighting somebody like Fury, who's in his head. Fury Joshua, I kind of want to see that more than Fury Wilder. Sorry, Joshua Wilder. Sorry, I want to see Fury Joshua. To be honest, just because of the style
Really?
matchup is so intriguing. Yeah.
I think all matchups, all of them against each other, are intriguing
No, I agree.
because Wilder can knock you out.
Oh, he can knock
Right.
he can knock anybody out.
That's why he's intriguing to watch, and he will drop you. He will drop you.
Yeah.
Joshua, he's capable of knocking anybody out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's capable of being slightly competitive against elite guys in a boxing match.
Yeah.
Fury, he's capable of outboxing you. He's capable of boxing any man on the planet at heavyweight.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But he's also capable of being dropped. And so is Joshua. And I believe so is Wilder.
Oh, yeah, I think all of the guys are vulnerable in that department, to be honest.
I'm just waiting for the car crash to happen between all three guys.
Yep. You're wondering who the first guy to fall will be, and who it affects the most. That's another thing.
I think Fury might be the most well-equipped mentally, as strange as that sounds, to take a loss.
You could be right. I
think the other two guys have become ego-driven, and I think Tyson Fury is just a troll.
Yeah, Joshua's got a lot to lose. He's got a lot on his shoulders. And if he were to lose, it makes you wonder how it would affect him. In one sense, it could be a weight off his shoulders and he could actually improve. But on the other hand, it could really get to him and, it could destroy him. And as for Wilder, it's kind of hard to gauge what it would do to Wilder, to be honest. It's harder to read Wilder. He kind of comes across as emotional and a little bit, maybe not as mature as the other two. But maybe he'll deal with it just fine. I don't know. I think you've got to deal with it though. I think they can all come back. To be honest.
Well, I think Fury and Joshua are young enough. If Wilder were to lose, he could get some wins, but it'd be hard for him to get a world title shot.
Yeah.
I could see him being frozen now.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Because he's dangerous.
At that point, why would you want to fight Wilder? That's going to be the thing. Let's say Wilder fights Brazil next, and let's say Brazil lands a Hail Mary punch, knocks him clean out, and providing he doesn't have a rematch clause, who would fight Wilder in that case? If he just gets knocked out?
No idea.
Exactly. So Wilder maybe Wilder has the most to lose by getting beat in that sense. Because Joshua, if he gets beat, he's going to come back to a big fight. People are still going to be interested. But Wilder, it'll be harder on Wilder, in my opinion. But who knows? It's hard to say. It's just semantics, really, isn't it? I mean,
I'd be interested to see how the fans of each fighter would react when they lose.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because I don't favor any of these three guys. I rate them all. I think they're all very good. Right, I really do. I think they're all good at what they do. I think Joshua is a very clinical puncher and clinical boxer. I think Fury's just a phenomenal pugilist, and I think Wilder's just a special KO guy.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I think it'd be interesting to see the fan bases because they've got some hardcore fans each set. They really do.
Yeah, and a lot of people have invested a lot of time in these guys. Do you know what I mean? Like they've invested a lot of time in these guys, especially Joshua and Wilder. You know, yeah, I know what you mean. I think the reaction would be interesting. I kind of want to see it. The question is, will these defeats happen before they fight each other? Will somebody else get there before we get the fights we want to see? That's the question.
Here's a serious thing. I don't think Jarrell Miller's the easiest fight in the world.
I don't think he's as bad as people are making out, to be quite honest.
If his chin holds up, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, I've said that as well. If Jarrell Miller has like an Oliver McCall type chin, then stylistically he could give Joshua problems, because what happens if Miller's still walking forward in the championship rounds when Joshua's tiring, when Joshua's more stationary? What's happening when Miller's working his body? How does Joshua respond to that in a tough fight? You know, there are interesting factors about that fight. There are.
Mate, this has nothing to do with boxing, but can I just say something? Right now, Real Madrid are losing 5-3 on aggregate to Ajax.
Are they actually?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Ajax are winning 4-1 at the Bernabeu.
That's crazy. That's insane. That's mental, isn't it?
There goes my bet. Fuck.
Jesus.
That's actually, I don't know if you watch much football yourself, but
casually, yeah, only casually. So basically,
Ajax against Real Madrid. Real Madrid were winning 2-1 from the first leg, and yeah, Ajax have 4 away goals right now.
Yeah, see, like, I'll casually watch football. I mean, see, weirdly, back in the day, it was the other way around. I was a hardcore football fan and a casual boxing fan. Now, like, hardcore boxing, super casual football fan, to be honest.
Well, I'm a hardcore fan of both.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up a Manchester City fan because of my grandfather. And when I was only like 4 years old, I was at Main Road, which was City's old stadium. And I seen them play in League Two and League One and everything. Where they've gotten to now is just mind-boggling to me. And I just think I'm dreaming every week when I see them play.
That's crazy. Yeah.
As for boxing, I've been a hardcore boxing fan since I was about 8.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, the first fight I saw was Lewis Tyson. Live. Like, I mean, yeah, I watched it live on the TV pay-per-view. Me granddad was like, we're watching Lewis Tyson. We're buying Lewis Tyson. And I was allowed to stay up to watch it, and I watched it, and I remember thinking Lennox Lewis was unbelievable. He was just special. Because everybody I'd heard talk about boxing always mentioned Mike Tyson's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw this guy who I'd never heard of pawn a fucking clinic.
Yeah. Knocked him out, yeah. Yeah, man. I remember that fight. That's my first experience of boxing, but that's not really what got me into boxing. So I think Tyson versus Lewis, they had a repeat the next weekend on like ITV maybe. Or BBC. And that's the first recollection of boxing I have, watching that. And I thought to myself at the time, oh, this is cool, but like, I didn't really take it any further. The thing that kind of first got my interest in boxing was 2004. Do you remember Athens and Amir Khan? It was a big story, wasn't it? Amir Khan,
it was huge.
Doing really well. And, you know, I kind of got interested in that. I watched his fights. So Amir Khan is actually the guy who kind of got me into boxing. And the fight that really sold me on boxing, the fight that made me become a hardcore boxing fan, it's a weird fight, but Graham Earl versus Michael Katsidis.
Wow, that's a good fight, though.
That was on ITV4, I want to say 2006 or 7, I want to say. And that's
I was going to say that it was May 2006.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Something like that, yeah. And
wow.
That's the fight that really kind of sold me. And from that point onwards, you know, I've been I've been really into boxing. I've been following it, and it's been my favorite sport, my hobby. And yeah, that fight, that's the fight. But yeah, oh yeah, man, that's a great fight. Mickey Van, fucking the Michael Katsidis is sorry, no, Graham L's corner threw the towel in, and Mickey Van just threw it out of the ring, let it continue. Then
I remember.
yeah, Graham L just drops him with a lovely shot. It's a great fight. Great fight. Man, you don't get fights like that anymore. You don't get them like that anymore. And
no.
It's sad, man. It's sad, to be honest. But and it goes to show though, if I watched that on terrestrial, well, I suppose, would you call it terrestrial TV? It's free TV.
Yeah,
it goes to show, that.
It's not terrestrial TV because it's not ITV4 isn't via an antenna.
Yeah.
It's like cable, so it's not terrestrial.
Yeah, but it's free TV, and it makes you realise. I got into boxing basically through boxing being on free TV. So if more boxing is on free TV, it'd be so good for the sport. But the BBC and ITV just don't really get behind it. I know ITV are showing it now, but they're not really pushing it in any great deal, are they? They're not really promoting it. They're not really getting behind it.
Well, it's only on ITV4, and then anything that's considered slightly big is going to be pay-per-view.
Yeah, they're playing at it, really, aren't they? Let's be honest. And it's a shame, somebody just doesn't.
I mean, I don't think the Gail Eubank was pay-per-view. But there you go.
Yeah, neither do I. To be honest. Yeah.
Eubank's got a good resume now, doesn't he?
On paper.
Yeah.
I mean, Abraham, it's a good name. DeGale, good name. Even the two losses, Groves and Billy Joe, no disgrace in that. And the Billy Joe fight was close. I mean, Eubanks, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's not as bad as people make out. People just hate him too much. People just let emotions get the better of him. And he
lost 2 competitive fights with George Groves and Billy Joe Saunders. And before people start telling me Groves wasn't competitive, it was for the last 3 rounds.
It was.
When Eubank fucked him up for the last 3 rounds.
Exactly. It was competitive. It was a clear win for Groves, but Eubank made him work. One of those type of fights. But yeah. Okay, Aobs, he says David Haye turning up late for Enzo weigh-in and then sparking him cold was his first real fight. Yeah, I remember that. David Haye, when he knocked out Macronelli, that was brutal. That was just walked right through him and smashed him up. Yeah. That was on Setanta, I think.
It was.
Yeah.
Remember Setanta?
Yes,
Holy fuck.
Sports, because I think that's when I first saw George Groves on Setanta. I'm pretty sure.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. Setanta, Jesus Christ. Because that's where Haye, I think when Haye Klitschko was first made, maybe 2009.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was supposed to be on Setanta.
No.
I swear it was.
No, Setanta didn't beat Sky in the bid for the pay-per-view.
Did they not?
No.
Because that fight was supposed to happen loads of times before it actually happened. And
that is true.
And he was also supposed to fight Vitali as well. I think that one of them was talked about being on Setanta, I remember. But yeah, it's mad where time goes, man. David Haye back then. I used to like David Haye, though. He was another fighter I really got behind when I was younger. David Haye was the guy who kind of inspired me to take up boxing and go to the gym, to be honest. And I'll never forget going to the gym and trying to fight like David Haye and getting my ass absolutely handed to me. Got absolutely ruined. But yeah, David Haye's another guy. But yeah, he's another guy. I don't always give him the most credit, but again, he inspired me to get my ass to the gym. So, he's always going to be one of my more fonder fighters kind of thing. I like David Haye. Shame his career ended.
I was still young with David Haye. I think I'm older than you, but I was still a teenager.
Yeah,
and turning into an adult. So I was a massive David Haye fan.
Yeah,
a massive David Haye fan. And by the time Tony Bellew came around, I'm going to be honest with you though, I picked Tony Bellew. I bet on Tony Bellew, and the reason why is this motherfucker has sold me down the river too many times. I don't believe him anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's the boy who cried wolf, isn't it? Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's a good. But the thing is, though, mate, I was still convinced Tony Bellew too. Oh, Hay's going to get him this time. He's gonna land that haymaker, and it's going to be it. But listen,
that's that boyhood fan. That's
exactly.
That boyhood fan.
Exactly. I just wanted to believe he was still good enough to beat Tony Bellew, but he wasn't, and he got knocked out.
Nah, he got fucked up.
He got fucked up. The left hook. The left hook in that fight when he just has a beautiful shot when Hay just kind of like face planted. It's a beautiful shot. But Bellew boxed really well that night. To be fair, he boxed really well.
So, just for your fans who are listening and watch your channel anyway, here's a very specific question, right? What is it that made you want to make YouTube videos about boxing? I know that there's other things you want to get into as well, because you've mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah.
But what made you want to make videos on boxing?
In all honesty, mate, the thing that kind of drove me to do it, I don't really have people who like boxing in my life. So, like my mates, yeah, they'll watch a Joshua fight, but I can't speak to them about boxing. I can't speak to them about Porter versus Ugas this weekend. Do you know what I mean? So really, the main thing that made me make videos was just trying to get a group of people who I can talk boxing with, basically. And that was really it, to be honest. And yeah, I just like talking about the sport. Plus, I saw people out there doing it, and I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. Why not give it a go?
Fair enough.
What about yourself?
Well, as you know, I've remade my channel. But the main reason I started to do it is the same reason you did. But as you know, I'm into a different type of boxing to you as well.
Yeah.
There's nobody... I don't know a single person in real life who I can talk to anymore other than my granddad about Joe Louis.
Yeah.
And Harry Greb and Sam Langford. But I've watched YouTube channels for years, and a channel who is probably my favorite boxing channel is Boxing Beats and Rhymes, right? You know Beats. We all probably know Beats. I've been watching him for years, and I don't know, man. I just liked that there were some people out there you could talk to about the history of the sport. So that's kind of what got me into it. And my first like 5 videos were historical content. You still there? Hello? All right, guys, I think Delboy has dropped off. Not too sure. But yeah, he'll probably rewatch this. What I genuinely liked was being able to talk to a lot of people about boxing.
Hello?
And hey, how's it going? You still there?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, carry on, mate.
Right. So I was able to talk to people about the sport, and I could talk to people about old school boxing and modern boxing, and it wasn't until I started seeing how many businessmen are on YouTube that I started to get disillusioned with talking to people about boxing, because there's so many people who talk more about business and money and A-side, and they talk more about sparring sessions equals results, and it gets to me, man, because I've been boxing since I was a kid. Sparring means jack shit.
Oh, 100%. I mean, so many with sparring, but like there's so many other things you need to consider, like when's this guy coming into camp, you know, how long's the guy been like exercising before the spar, blah blah blah. There's so many things to consider when you talk about sparring. It's not, doesn't replicate a real fight at all.
Well, here's a question for you, right? Sean Turner, he sparred with Filip Hrgovic a few times, and Filip Hrgovic even went on record as saying Turner actually bashed him up.
Yeah,
he hurt him. He hurt him.
Okay.
How easy was that? How easy was that fight for Hrgovic?
Very routine. Very routine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because he was working on things, and Turner was trying to put on a fucking show, pretty much. So that happens. But I don't know, man. Like, the main reason I started to make videos is because I wanted to talk to people who had the same interests as me.
That's how I see it as well, mate. Totally agree. Totally agree. And there's certain things I like to talk about more than others. So I do genuinely I like to talk about prospects and kind of just saying whether I think they're going to go all the way. And I like
So
to
you
follow their
keep
careers.
you keep your eye out on all the prospects, like
Yeah.
in a lot of weight divisions.
So yeah, that's one thing I like to do. I like to break down fights in general. I just like boxing, mate. I do need to brush up on my historical side of things, but I like the prospect side of things. I do like speculating who's the next big thing, who's the next pound for pound superstar. I do like talking about that sort of thing.
So who's the next big welterweight in your opinion?
Welterweight? To be honest, mate, right now I don't think there's any standout prospects. No, sorry, I'll take that back. I do like Jaron Ennis. Have you seen him fight?
I have. I've been high on Jaron Ennis since his 7th fight, man. When you said there's no high end prospects, I was like, ooh.
No, Jaron Ennis. I like Jaron Ennis. He's impressed me so far.
He reminds me of Crawford, man. He really does.
He's fluid, isn't he? He's really, really fluid. There's another guy I like as well at welterweight. Rashidi Ellis. Seen him?
I have.
I think he's a very good prospect as well. Tall, long, seems to carry power, quick. I think he's a good prospect. The guy out of Lithuania, Kavaliauskas, I think he's decent. There's guys out there coming up.
I wouldn't call him a prospect. He's a world level. He's like a top 10 guy.
I suppose so, but he's not really.
But what do you think of Josh Kelly? Do you not think he's a top 10 prospect?
No, I don't think so, mate. I don't see it. I think he'll be a good European level fighter. I think he'll do well domestically.
Real quick.
But
quick though. Breaking news. Ajax have knocked Real Madrid out of the Champions League.
Hey, that's brilliant. Can't stand Real Madrid. Get rid of them. Love it. Oh, someone says a Shepherd of Sons, Best Bootin at welterweight. That's a good shout. He's a good prospect.
Mm-hmm. What about a heavyweight for prospects?
Oh, where'd you begin? There's quite a few prospects I like right now.
Well, can I name one just to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Not a usual name, but Abdi Daftiev, I think is his name.
Yeah, out of Russia. Yep.
Yeah, 16 KO.
Yep, I've seen him fight before. He's basing himself more out of America now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's promoted by Salita, I think.
Yeah, and speaking of Salita, they've also signed Otto Wallin as well recently.
Wow.
So yeah, they're making some moves.
What do you think of Otto Wallin against Datayev if it were to happen? I think Datayev knocks him out.
Do you think?
I don't rate Wallin. I think he's garbage.
Wallin is he's good at what he does. He's kind of he's
beating Granat and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. In all honesty,
does he beat Caballel if he fights Caballel?
Oh, I think Caballel's a better boxer. I think Caballel's far more. He's far more dynamic.
New Pulev, isn't he? He's the new Pulev.
He's awkward. He's tricky. Good jab, defensively sound. Keeps range fairly well.
Good overhand right, by the way.
Yeah. He
can pick people off with that
Caballel's coming along fairly nicely. I'd like to see him a bit more active, but yeah, I'd pick Caballel. I'd pick Caballel to beat Wallin, to be quite honest. Annoyingly, they were supposed to fight, but they didn't fight. But yeah, I agree. Caballel
for them.
Yeah. Also, Charlie Braddock, thank you, mate. New to this channel. I'm a fairly casual boxing fan who only really pays attention to the heavyweight division. Thank you, mate. Cheers, mate. Sorry. So Caballel yet? So you asking about prospects in the heavyweight division?
Yeah, how about not in order, but give me your 5 main prospects.
My 5 main prospects. So I think to me, the two guys who I kind of view as the standouts, I like Filip Hrgovic. Um, Kind of reminds me of Vitaly Klitschko. I think he's got a lot going for him. I like Efe Ajagba. I think he's raw. He's raw, but I mean, if you're a coach and you want somebody to coach, you want all the attributes. Ajagba has them. You know, he's got a long reach, power jab.
Athleticism, speed.
Yeah, heavy hands, strong. You know, he's like a
And
blank canvas.
for somebody who's kind of young in the game, he's got decent feet for a heavyweight.
Yeah, his feet are not slow.
No, they're not too bad.
So yeah, Efe Ajagba and Efe Ajagba, sorry, and Hrgovic are my two standouts. But other than that, you've got quite a few other guys out there. I like. I'm not sure whether you've seen him, Arslanbek Makhmudov coming out of Russia.
I've seen him.
Horrible puncher. I think he looks very exciting. I like what I see there. Fedosov as well, coming out of Russia. Another
Yep.
fighter. He recently beat Dylan Carmen. That's a good
He did.
win. Yeah, he knocked him out in a round. So Fedosov's another guy coming out of Russia. You've got obviously from these parts, you've got Gorman, you've got Joyce, you've got Dubois.
Is Joyce a prospect at 33?
It's a good point, actually. Maybe not.
With a win, but he's got a win over Bermain Stavern as well.
Yeah, no, we'll get rid of Joyce. We won't call him a prospect, but you know, I think Gorman and Dubois are fairly decent. I think they're pretty good. You got a couple of guys in America I like as well. I think Darmani Rock. I think he has a lot of talent, but it's whether he can apply himself, whether he can get in shape, and whether he's dedicated. I think talent-wise, he's got a lot going for him, but you know, he carries a bit too much timber. But he's a guy who I kind of see as like not an outsider, but a dark horse, I suppose. Yeah, there's a lot of prospects out there I'm liking right now, to be fair, at heavyweight. There's a lot of guys out there.
What about Tony Yoka?
Tony Yoka, he's been inactive, and obviously with the drug ban, it's kind of hard to.
But that only affects him in France.
It does, but he's still not fighting, is he?
That's true. What about Junior Fa?
From what I've seen, I don't really rate him, to be honest.
He knocked a guy out in one round the other night, and he knocked him down 4 times.
Yeah, he kind of blows hot and cold. So you'll see, like he's got a few first round knockouts on his resume. Then he'll go the decision against an absolute scrub. And
to his credit, though, he beat Joseph Parker in the amateurs. He's got a win over Parker at amateur level.
He does.
So,
yeah. Teslenko,
he can't be that bad. Teslenko, yeah.
Teslenko's another prospect I like. Speaking of Yoka, see they're talking about Yoka versus Duhaupas in France. I think that'd be a good fight.
Yes, please.
Good test. Very good test.
High level volume versus high level punch bag. Let's go.
Exactly. No, I think that's a good test. That's a very good test.
I don't think it is. I think he'll take him to the cleaners. I think he'll beat Duhaupas easily. I don't think Duhaupas can box.
Listen, he's limited as hell, but Tony Yoka's fought nobody. Well, he's fought Jonathan Rice is a good journeyman.
I'll actually be fair to Yoka, and I will say, even though not in the program, he hasn't fought anybody. He is an Olympic gold medalist, and he does have wins over Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgovic.
Wins with asterisks.
Look, I didn't say wins convincingly, did I?
No, but I just don't think he won those fights. Period.
He didn't win either of them, in my opinion. Personally, I think Hrgovic beat him much more cleanly than Joyce did, and I think Hrgovic, if he had got to the final, would have beat Joe Joyce as well. I think Hrgovic is the rightful gold medalist from the Olympics in my own mind. Yeah,
I agree. And who else? Sorry, Dichko, Ivan Dichko. To me, he's too chinny. He's got a lot of he's big and he can move and he can box, but I think Dichko is a bit too chinny. There's another guy out there as well, and his name escapes me. I forgot his name. Oh, What was his name? Will come back to me later.
What about the Croatian lad, Petar Milash?
Well, he's coming along quite nicely. He's got a couple of
He's got,
decent wins.
yeah, I think he's got a stoppage win over Kevin Johnson. The only person to do that other than him is Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. Didn't he stop Johnson through cuts, from what I remember?
Something
Yeah.
something like. But still, he beat him. He stopped him.
He stopped him, yeah. And he beat Pianetta. Milias is young. He's like 23, isn't he? So
that could be a fight in the next couple of years in Croatia. Him against Tergovic.
Yeah, Milias has called him out as well, from what I can see. He's asked for that fight, so let's get it on. I'd like to see it. Good test.
I'd watch it.
Guys. Yeah, man. It's a good
Could
fight.
be a very good fight. I'd favour Hrgovic because, I'm high on Hrgovic, by the way.
Same.
Yeah. Very high on Hrgovic. Vitaly Klitschko, I completely agree with that comparison, but there's one other comparison I'd like to say as well. His temperament reminds me a lot of Lennox Lewis in terms of when he's making his shots and how calm he stays under pressure.
Yeah, he is very calm. That's a very good observation. He doesn't get riled up. He doesn't get overexcited.
And as we've seen with Vitaly, he was capable of getting very excited.
Yeah, he was a hothead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you took I don't think he's quite as good as Vitaly.
Oh no.
Not yet. With that remains to be seen. And I don't think he's quite as good as Lennox.
Oh no.
But that will also remain to be seen. However, he does have qualities of both guys, and that'll stand him in good stead.
Yep, no, I agree. Okay, speaking of heavyweights and prospects, I'm sure you've seen Frank Warren say he is going to match Gorman versus Dubois this year.
No, he's not. Okay, don't lie to us, Frank.
We're gonna trust Frank, and we're gonna take his word for gospel. So Frank Warren is going to make the fight this year. Who wins?
Gorman points.
Do you think Gorman? See,
Gorman on points.
I think Dubois might do him.
I don't think Dubois will knock him out. I think Gorman's chin is phenomenal, and I don't think Dubois will outbox Nathan Gorman.
See, I think Dubois. I think people were very harsh on his performance against Kevin Johnson.
I thought his performance against Kevin Johnson was very good.
So did I, but most people don't look at things in context. So if you look at Kevin Johnson, next to that fight with Dubois, he recently fought Pulev and Andy Ruiz. Dubois did a far better job on Kevin Johnson than both Ruiz and Pulev. Far better job. He managed his stamina fairly well. I felt when he used his jab, it looked really effective, looked really strong. When he actually went to the body, he was having success. There are things in there that I felt, I was impressed with Dubois. Yes, he could have done things better. Yes, he was a bit predictable. But all in all, I felt that was a really good learning fight for him. And I felt he looked fairly good doing it, to be quite honest.
What did you think of Gorman's performance against Cajano?
He got the rounds in. He was fighting an awkward opponent, but
he was landing.
Cool, long guy who was being negative. I would have liked to have seen him work the body because I've seen him do it before. To me, Gorman just didn't look as dynamic as he usually does. His hands didn't look as quick. He just didn't look as on it. Gorman, to me, he strikes me as the type of guy who blows hot and cold. So against Sean Turner, for example, he looked just strong, powerful, quick, and he got him out of there. And Sean Turner's a durable guy. It's not like he's a chinny guy. But against Cajano,
good old big sexy.
Yeah, exactly. Against Cajano, I felt he looked a bit, I don't know, a bit ordinary. Again, not a bad performance by any means. But
somebody asked me, by the way, do I consider Sean Turner to be the Irish Dave Allen?
Turner's got more ability.
I think Turner, if Turner came in a little bit better shape, I think he'd actually beat Dave Allen.
I think he'd beat Dave Allen. I think he'd beat Dave Allen. He's got more
skill.
He's got more ability. Yeah, he's got more ability. He's got a better amateur background.
He's faster.
I think
he might not be stronger though. I think they're about equally the same strength.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think Dave hits harder though. Dave does actually hit kind of hard when he lets go.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I'd agree. Yeah, if Dave connects on the chin, he's gonna
but
hurt some people.
I think Big Sexy would probably beat him. People will probably think I'm being Irishly biased, but I think Big Sexy would actually beat Alan.
No, I would pick Sean Turner. The only thing, like I say, well, same with Dave Allen. Just what type of shape are they going to turn up in?
Reinforce the ring, man. They could both come in the same way as Jarrell Miller.
Exactly. Jesus Christ. But no,
Fat fucks.
what do you make of Sean Porter this weekend versus Ugas?
That's.
I think that's a decent little fight.
I think there's a few things that like stand out to me. Ugas isn't a big puncher.
Yeah, I agree.
However, he's a phenomenal body puncher. Porter is a very, very good Russian fighter, as I like to call him. I think he's a Russian fighter. He's very good at getting on top of you, making it awkward, and he's very strong and he's got high levels of stamina.
Yeah,
Ugas, his stamina can wane. I've seen it wane a couple of times in the past towards the ends of fights, and he's given. Yeah. However, I don't see either of these guys being able to stop each other. I don't think Sean's punching power is massive.
No.
And I think Ugas's chin is exceptional.
Do you think his chin's that
He's
good?
never been stopped. He's never been stopped, and I've never seen him dropped. Was he dropped against Delorme?
No, not from my recollection, but I seem
from memory. I've never seen him dropped, and I've seen him rocked once or twice, but I've seen Porter rocked a couple of times too.
Delorme was starting to get to him a bit. He didn't like drop him
a bit, but I think that was more energy than actual like punch resistance.
But the thing is, like if Ugas,
he's gonna sap the shit out of you.
Yeah, and if Ugas has any stamina issues, you don't want to fight Sean Porter with that stamina.
No, you don't. Look, at the end of the day, Sean Porter's stamina beat Danny Garcia.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He was able to do more than him for the majority of the fight.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Although to be fair to Sean, I think he boxed a lot better in the Danny Garcia fight.
Yeah, it was quite clean. Yeah. Very clean fight.
The jab was effective for Porter in that fight when he committed to it. But I've always said that about Porter. Porter's actually got a really good jab when he uses it. It's actually a really underrated punch. He has got skills. I mean, I think the problem with Porter, most people only really became aware of him when he was a champion. But on the come up, do you remember his come up fights? He boxed a lot more on the come up. He moved a lot more in his build up fights. It's only like when he became a champion, that's when he kind of became this sheer pressure fighter, and that's it. But on the come up, he showed he could box a bit. So
he's always been able to box, Sean.
Yeah, I know. He was a good amateur. I mean, he beat Usyk, for Christ's sake.
Oh, come on, Del.
But do you know what
I mean? Del, listen. You have somebody said that they're a casual boxing fan in your chat. Give them the real context of him beating Usyk.
What? Is it middleweight?
Usyk was fucking 15 years old.
Still, on paper, that looks amazing. It's a great story.
He beat a 15-year-old Usyk by a split decision callback. It was a callback.
Yeah, that's true.
But that says more about Usyk, to be honest, than it does Sean. But
that's a good point. He went up, yeah. But he can box. Is my point. Like his boxing skills have always been underrated. He's got a great jab. He's got quick feet. Underrated defense. People say Porter's face first. Yeah, he gets hit coming forwards. He's an aggressive fighter, but he's not easy to time. I mean, people made out like Brook was timing him over and over and over and over and over again. No, he got hit by a handful of good right hands, some good jabs, and that was really it. The rest of it was clinching. He's hard to time. He's awkward. He's not this face first Brandon Rios type fighter people describe him as at all. I think Porter's got a lot more going for him than people give him credit for. I really
He's
do.
one of my favourite fighters, by the way.
Yeah, I like Porter. I've always liked Porter. He's certainly my favourite welterweight.
He's not my favourite welterweight.
Is he not?
No.
Terence?
My favourite... No.
Spence?
No.
Pacquiao?
No.
Furman?
No.
Danny? Garcia?
No. It's none of the guys at world level. It's Ennis.
Jarrell Ennis. Okay.
I've been high on him since his 7th fight, man. I've seen every fight. I've found them on Vimeo. I've found them on Daily Motion.
Jesus.
I've watched. Yeah, I like him. I think I don't know what it is, but like he's from a good family. The Ennis family. He's from a good boxing background. There's something about him, to me, that just reeks of. Give him a fight in about a year or two, and he's gonna be trouble.
Yeah, no, I've been impressed with him every time I've seen him. Really good prospect. Who do you think a good fight for him now would be in terms of matchmaking?
Would
it be too early for Lopez, Josecito?
I don't think it would be too early. I think it'd be a tough enough fight. But who was the guy that Kelly was meant to fight?
Avanesian.
I wouldn't be upset if he fought Avanesian next.
Yeah, that's a good learning fight. It's a good step up fight.
Yeah, fight Avanesian, then maybe have a Josecito Lopez after that. Then after that, you're in the rankings.
Hang on. Team Groves, he reckons he thought we was both around 30. Jesus Christ, mate.
Oh, mate, no. I'm sorry, bro. I'm turning 26 in April.
Mate, I've not officially hit my mid-20s yet. Well, I have. Well, technically I am, but yeah.
You're 24, aren't you?
24, yeah. I'm not mid-20s until I hit 25. That's the way I look at it.
Well, the thing is, like, Dell, he talks a lot more about prospects and the news of boxing, etc. I'm more into the history of the sport. Between the two of us, like, we probably could cover most things, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could. I think. Yeah. 30 though. Come on, Team Groves. Give us more credit than that. Jesus.
To be fair, I think Dell sounds older than I do.
Do you think? Oh no.
Yeah, I do. I do think you sound like a 32-year-old guy from like just outside of London who's just a little bit like pissed off.
Do I actually? That's amazing. I like it.
There you go. In 10 years' time, you'll sound like Stu Little.
Oh God. I like Stu Little. He's on the BDA.
BDA.
He's
Stu's fun.
I think he's from a similar part of the world to me as well. I'm pretty sure.
He's from England. He's not. He's from in the middle, like, of the countryside somewhere in England there, though. But yeah,
his accent seems like maybe Peterborough, maybe Cambridge that way.
Oh come on, the accents mean shit all. Look at Spartan Icons. He lives in Newcastle. Chap sounds like he's from fucking London.
Yeah, no, that's true. True. But no, 30-year-old. That's crazy. Michael Stock, what's up, mate? How you doing? But yeah, what else you got this weekend? You've got Ugas Porter. I've got Porter, by the way. I've
Porter as well, but I think it'll be a good fight.
I've got Porter on point or late stoppage.
Late stoppage could be a very good call. The odds will be good on that as well because neither have had knockouts recently. But Porter by knockout late rounds, considering Ugas could sap, or Porter by points.
Yeah, man. That's how I'm seeing it. I think it, but at the same time, I don't think either of us would be shocked if Ugas pulled it off.
If Ugas beats him, I'll tell you how he'll beat him. Porter's gotten a little bit older. He's been in some wear and tear fights, right?
Yeah.
Ugas invests a lot into the body, and Porter's work rate could slow.
Yeah.
And that'll be the key to it, how Porter will deal with those body shots. Because Ugas, he might not be as fearsome of a body puncher of Spence, but his volume, I think at welterweight, he clocked in his last fight, I think it was 512 punches, about 380 landed. Yeah. 206 of those were body punches.
Crazy, isn't it?
That's a massive amount. That's over half of his punches landed were body punches. That's scary.
Yeah, I mean, his opponent would have been peeing blood. Jesus.
I actually heard his opponent shit blood, by the way.
Oh, no. That's bad. Yeah.
It's worse to piss blood. It's worse to piss blood than shit it because it means it's fucked up your kidneys.
Yeah. Ooh, that's nasty. Guilty Simpson, he asks, who have you guys got in Lipinets versus Peterson? I've got Lipinets. I think Lipinets is just fresher. Got more in the tank.
I've got no interest, but I think Lipinets beats him.
I know what you mean.
He beats. I don't really care.
I think Peterson,
it's not me being bad. I just don't care about Lamont anymore.
I think the Spence fight kind of showed us what Lamont had left, and it's not much.
But if Lamont goes and beats Lipinets, it could show us just how good Spence really is.
Yeah, that's true. But how good is Lipinets really?
He's all right.
But yeah, he's all right. I know what you mean. But that could be
I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be staying up to watch it.
No, I'll watch it the next day on YouTube.
I'll stay up to watch Ugas Portland.
Oh yeah, is that on ITV4? Do you know?
Let me find out.
It must be.
I'll tell you now, though. Right, where's ITV4? So 132. Right, give me a second. You can keep talking to people in the chat now, right now.
Yeah.
So what night would that be? That'd be Sunday morning for us, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Lipinets is moving up, Michael, yeah.
Fuck.
I don't think he needs to move up.
He's chasing the rematch with Garcia.
Yeah. That was actually a competitive fight, Lipinets versus Garcia. Lipinets was very competitive. He gave Garcia problems, yeah.
So he can't be that bad. Mikey's a good fighter.
But I personally believe that is more due to the fact Mikey doesn't really belong above lightweight. I think super lightweight was his kind of limit, where he kind of tops out. I don't like Mikey at 147.
I've got some bad news for you, Del.
It's not on.
It's not on ITV4.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wait, what night is it? Is it on Saturday night or is it on a Sunday night?
No, it must be Sunday. Oh, well.
Yeah, no. Nothing Friday, nothing Saturday morning, Sunday morning, or Monday morning.
That's crazy. I mean, ordinarily, like you say, I would have stayed up for that, but I'm not going to stay up for it on a dodgy stream. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I have Showtime and everything.
Okay, so. You've got a special box or...
No comment.
No comment. Fair play. Yeah, what's going... Guilty Simpson, I'm not sure, mate. I mean, 168 right now within the WBO seems to be up in the air. Apparently, it's looking... I know, it's looking, as Guilty Simpson says, it seems like Ramirez is keeping his belt, but he's testing the waters at 175 before vacating.
Does he think he's Canelo?
Exactly. Having said that, I mean, I suppose it's his belt. If he doesn't need to vacate it, no, I don't know. I mean, it goes to show, man. Saunders, he was more than happy to fight for that belt when some scrub was going to fight for it. You know, when that Isafi guy was going to fight him for it. I mean, why not fight Ramirez?
I'd be happy to see him fight Ramirez for that belt.
Billy Joe versus Ramirez, great fight. Two southpaws.
By the way, it would make him a legit two-weight world champion.
Exactly. It'd be a good fight. I'd watch it, and I'd give Billy Joe credit for actually stepping up and fighting a good champion. I'd give him credit. But it just goes to show Billy Joe's mindset, doesn't it? Like, he's more than happy to fight for a vacant title against a less than stellar opponent, but he's not willing to fight Ramirez. Just disappointing.
True. Very true.
Really disappointing.
Look, Billy Joe's career is becoming a disappointment. Not even in terms of the boxing, just he's becoming a disappointment.
Yeah.
He's got every talent in the world. Like, let's do the number rating system out of 10, Del, yeah?
Yep.
Let's do each of his attributes. Ring IQ out of 10, what would you give it?
A good solid 8, 9,
His feet out of 10.
9,
His jab.
9,
His overhand.
9. No, 8, 8.
His power.
7.
His chin.
8.
So we're talking a guy who's pretty much an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
An 8.5 out of 10 all across the board, pretty much, is what we're looking at.
Yep.
That's frightening.
And listen, he can. I mean, personally, I don't think Billy Joe can beat Golovkin, and I don't think he can beat Canelo. But I'm pretty sure he can beat everybody else in the division. Not saying I pick him to do so, but he's got the ability.
Would
to
it beat
do so.
Jacobs? Ooh,
He's got the
that's a big
ability
call.
to do so.
So does Jacobs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's what I'm saying is like he's got the potential to beat these guys. Whether he does it or not is I don't know.
We've only
but-
seen one fight from Billy Joe where he put it all together, though, and that was against Lemieux.
and
We've
yeah,
never seen him put it all together, and even against Eubank, the one thing I'm going to say, which I thought was a 5 or a 6, is his work ethic.
yeah, his work ethic and his dedication. Yeah,
They're low. They're very low.
Angry Orchard, he reckons Billy Joe can beat Golovkin at this stage. I've not seen enough personally.
I think
Even
Golovkin will be trouble with that jab. Golovkin is
Yeah.
an elite jabber.
elite jab, great at cutting off a ring, good down to the body as well.
Good power.
Yeah, power obviously. Yeah, power.
Underrated ring IQ.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. He can box
Not the
as well,
highest ring IQ, but good
and
enough.
he can box. He can actually box. So yeah, I'd still take Golovkin against Billy Joe. Personally,
I'd be in agreement, by the way. I'd be in agreement.
Billy Joe will be competitive, no doubt about it. But
But I wouldn't be shocked if Billy Joe beat him.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I wouldn't pick him. And as for Canelo, he can't beat Canelo. I'll just leave it at that. So even if he beats Canelo, he won't beat Canelo. So there's no point even talking about it. He would need to whitewash Canelo to get a decision, like Mayweather style. And that's not going to happen. Canelo's too good.
Canelo is pretty good.
Billy Joe just can't beat him. There's no way on God's green earth, while Canelo has 2 arms and 2 legs, Billy Joe cannot beat him.
You can't
No.
knock him out.
No, I wouldn't even be excited for that fight if that fight were to get made.
He
I know-
could win a fan's decision, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. BS aside, politics aside, it's a tremendous fight, but he's not going to get a fair shake.
I could see Canelo stopping him, though.
I could see him timing Billy Joe and stopping him, or working that body and getting him out of there.
Mate, we need to be careful talking about Canelo on YouTube. He's a controversial figure. Talking about him positively, we can't be doing that.
That is true. Yeah. The thing is with Canelo, like I've said it so many times, like politics aside, is there anybody who's better to watch in boxing right now than Canelo? Just watching him do his thing, watching him throw combinations, watching him work the body, watching him counter, watching him knock people out. Is there a more like pleasing fighter on the eye than Canelo?
For me, yes.
For you, but for me, Canelo's right up there. I think he's a great watch, but it's everything else that comes with him for me.
There's one guy who I actually think is more enjoyable to watch. I don't think he's better than him, but I think he's more enjoyable to watch, and that's Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez, he's always in fun fights. Yeah, that's true.
He's enjoyable to watch. He throws punches, he mixes it up high and low. He's essentially a 140 Canelo in a way, only maybe not as powerful, maybe a little bit more chinny, but more volume.
Yeah, no, I like Ramirez. I think Ramirez, obviously he gets a lot of like.
He also doesn't do it the Gale in the mid rounds, does he?
No, he doesn't. No, he keeps on
Canelo
fighting.
does. Canelo does and has done in the past.
Although I think Canelo's got better for that. His stamina has got better.
I think he trained out of his skin for Golovkin. We'll see against Jacobs how he is, because that's not an easy fight. It's not a gimme.
No.
Jacobs is a good fighter, and if he comes and brings all of the tools that he has and puts it all together, he could give Canelo a very tough night, because he can jab really well. His feet can be very good. Like, notice how I'm saying can.
Yeah.
His power is strong. He's fast. It's just about him putting it all together,
But
at once.
But it's similar to like Billy Joe in that sense. When have you seen Danny put together like what you would call a complete performance?
I actually, against Triple G, I thought he put on a complete performance.
Did he?
Because I scored at a draw.
Yeah, but he didn't win.
He might not have won, but did Canelo beat Triple G the first time?
He got dropped. He didn't pick his spots wisely. So for me, when Danny actually stopped moving, when he sort of sat in the pocket, worked the body, to me that's when Danny had most success. I felt Danny was hurting Golovkin to the body, and I think he should have realised that. It's easier said than done, of course, but I think he should have noted that, and he should have gone more down that route. I think he should have.
What about his performance against Derevianchenko? That was quite a complete performance.
It was a good performance, to be fair. It was.
And when people are like, "Well, who's Derevianchenko?" You're a casual. Derevianchenko's a fucking good fighter, like a very good fighter.
Look at what he did to I know it's people can say, "Oh, he was old," but look at how he dealt with Sam Solomon.
Smashed him.
Nobody really does that to Solomon for the most part.
No.
Solomon
He did very well against him. Derevianchenko's a good fighter. And let's be honest, the guys at world level at middleweight, Jamal Charlo, Andrade, Saunders, would they beat Derevianchenko? I'd have my doubts, man. I think he'd give them all very, very tough fights. What was the name of the guy who took Charlo on short notice? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. This was his last fight.
Matt Korobov.
Korobov.
Yep.
Is Korobov as good as Derevianchenko?
Not anymore.
No. Derevianchenko to me is the new Korobov, right?
Yeah. Who needs him?
Exactly. Derevianchenko would be tough for any of these guys. He's a good fighter. He's awkward as well.
Yeah. Great on the inside as well. Great up close. Power. He can counter.
Tough as nails.
Tough as hell, yeah. Look at how he dealt with Toriano Johnson. Again, another decent little win. He's a good fighter, man. I like Derevianchenko, good fighter. But look at it's another like Selecki as well. He's another guy like that. Really good fighter. Good boxer, big for the weight, fairly fast. Technically correct. He's another fighter who is very underrated, who Danny Jacobs beat. So, yeah, Danny certainly deserves his shot with Canelo, no doubt about it.
Yeah. A guy in your chat, Anthony Moore, says something that really made me sad because it's true. Only way Jacobs can beat Canelo is if he knocks him out. Yep. Canelo signed a 10-fight deal, and I'm sure his team have selected Jacobs as it's an easy fight to make, and they spot weakness, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm
not going to disagree with you, Anthony.
No,
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Totally agree, and I think Jacobs said it himself where he needs to knock him out. I think Jacobs has said that. So he's saying the right things. He knows he can't afford it to be a close fight. And
what did you think? What did you think of the press conference?
It was what it was, really. I didn't really think
3 minutes of Eddie Hearn stealing the show, though.
It's Eddie Hearn, isn't it?
That was unbelievable, man.
Yeah. I mean,
that's Eddie at his finest.
He needed to do something. Like, he needed to put something big on in America. And he's flexing his muscles now. He's popping his feathers out there. Getting a bit excited.
Yeah, he's putting on a fantastic show. Oh wait, they're the B-side.
Yeah, they are still the B-side. Yep. But to be fair to Eddie, actually, one thing I will say, he's done a card on DAZN Not sure whether you've seen it. It's obviously Rungvisai versus Estrada 2 with Doheny versus Danny Roman on one card. So 2 world title fights on the card, 2 great fights. That's a really good card, to be fair to Hearn, in America. I think Doheny versus Roman will be a really good fight, actually.
Danny Roman?
Yeah, Danny Roman, yeah. I think he's a really good fighter. Danny Roman, I think he's
what
really
weight
good.
division is Danny Roman fighting at?
He is
Bantamweight.
Bantamweight, I'm pretty sure. Because he beat the Lesser McDonald. I'm pretty sure it's Bantamweight then.
The Lesser McDonald. I don't know how one can be less than the other with those 2 crap bags.
They ain't great, are they? Jamie was okay. He had a couple of good wins.
He's Super Bantam, 122.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
the WBA Super Bantamweight champion.
Okay. Well, yeah, Danny Roman versus...
I was like, I didn't think he was Bantamweight because he's a champion, yeah? And I know that the 2 WBA... I know that he was a WBA champion, and I know the 2 Bantamweights are Donaire and Inoue.
Yeah, and Bantamweight's World Boxing Super Series. This fucking seems obvious now.
Yeah, because like we've Donaire, Inoue, Rodriguez, and Tete.
Yeah. But yeah, TJ Doheny versus Danny Roman. That's a great fight. Unification fight as well. TJ, I think, is he the IBF champion off the top of my head?
Mate, you're talking to the right guy here. Come on.
He is the IBF, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. That's a good fight. That'd be a barn burner, I'm telling you. And I think Danny's going to do it, to be fair. I think Danny Roman...
Well, I'm going to be biased and say I think TJ Doheny's going to beat him.
Do you think so? Do you think so, or are you hoping so?
I'm hoping so.
Okay. It's going to be, regardless, mate, it's going to be a great fight. That can't be a bad... That's one of those fights you look at, and I just can't see that being a bad fight.
It's going to be competitive. They both fight. They both come to fight.
Yeah. Good honest lads as well. Good fighters. Good fighters. And like I say, and on that card you've also got obviously Estrada Rungvisai too. So to be fair to Hearn, that's a good card.
That's a good card.
Yeah. And you've also got...
Let me actually have a look at that card.
Yeah, Scott Quigg's going to be on that card as well. Whether he fights anyone good, I don't know.
Scott Queef?
Scott Queef.
So, according to this, right, I'm just going to name the names we know. Anthony Sims Jr. will be on that card.
Yep. Okay.
Jesse Vargas, Scott Quigg, and Estrada versus Rungvisai is the main event. There's Daniel Roman and TJ Doheny.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
So if Quigg and Vargas are in decent fights, that could be a really good card. It's already a decent card. Could be a really good card. Yeah, man.
It's taking place in the farm, Inglewood, California.
Yeah. I think Hearn, he needed to get some proper shows on out there because what he's put on so far, for my money, has been pretty poor.
So if there is any Americans who live in California and you're looking for a good night of boxing on Friday the 26th of April by any chance, go watch Rungvisai and Estrada.
Yeah, great fight. And somebody in the chat, Guilty Simpson, Derevinchenko versus Jack Kokai. That's coming up.
That is coming up. That's a good fight.
Yeah,
I think Derevinchenko will beat Kokai.
Yeah, so do I. Kokai,
it's
decent.
It's good.
But Kokai is like one of those guys who, obviously, he had a belt at 154 at one point. To me, like he's one of those guys who you'd say he's better than European level, but he's not quite world level. Do you know what I mean? He's like in that area in between. He's a good, solid fighter. He's well schooled, but he's not going to beat the top guys. Do you know what I mean? He's a good fighter.
Yeah,
he's a good fighter.
Also, Guilty asked us, will Yard face Kovalev next? And if he does, what happens? Do you want to take it or will I?
I'll just go from my quick opinion. Do I think it's going to happen next? No. If it does, I think Kovalev knocks him out. Right hand over Yard's terrible shoulder roll. Knockout.
I'm gonna play I'm gonna play troll and say Anthony Yarde has been number 2 and 1 in the WBO for the last 13 months, and none of these champions have called his name out. They're obviously ducking Anthony Yarde because of his massive KO ratio and his wins over Darius Sek and Tony Averland. Now, long story short is, no, Yarde's not going to face Kovalev next. If he does, I will be shocked, and I'll give him his credit where it's due. In terms of the results, if Yarde can stop Kovalev from bullying him, he can be competitive, but I don't know how his chin is. He's not proven enough. Kovalev is a proven high-end world-level fighter, and I can see Kovalev being able to bully Yarde too much and knocking him.
Yeah. Do you know, I think people will be... do you know what I think will surprise people in that fight? The speed difference. I think Kovalev's quicker than Yarde. That might be controversial, but especially with his feet, Kovalev's feet are actually very quick. I mean, against Alvarez, I felt his feet looked amazing. And to me, Yarde, he's a flat-footed guy. I don't think he'll get close to Kovalev. I think Kovalev will keep a distance, keep him behind that jab, and it should be fairly routine for Kovalev. I've just not seen anything from Yarde to indicate he can be really that competitive with Kovalev, short of landing a big punch, obviously. I just can't really see it. Kovalev to me. Kovalev in a big way. If that fight works next. I just can't see it, mate. I just can't see it.
Look, I can't either, all right?
Oh, dear.
Look, I made a video a few minutes ago trying to play devil's advocate for Anthony Yarde. Like, I'm not a fan of him by no means, but like at the end of the day,
no, don't get me wrong, mate.
He ain't beating no Kovalev right now.
I do sometimes feel like I'm overly critical of him, but at the same time, when you hear his team talk, it's like it's hard to like just, I don't know. I'll leave Anthony Yarde alone. I'll leave him alone. We'll see him do his thing this weekend, and we'll go from there.
No, we're going to keep saying the exact same thing.
Yeah. And like I said, listen, we'll talk about reasonable boxing fans for a second. Nobody expects him to fight Kovalev next. Nobody expects him to fight Beterbiev. Nobody expects that.
Or Vajdik or Bivol.
Yeah, exactly. All I wanted to see was decent little step-up fights, Ajasafe, Shebaransky, someone like that. They're the type of fights I want. Nothing crazy, nothing super super hard, but guys who have ambition, guys who are coming to win, not guys who look like they belong on a fruit stall selling plums on a Sunday morning. Do you know what I mean?
Somebody in the chat, lions in the camp.
Lions in the camp. There we go. Lions. Listen, one thing I'll give Yarde credit for, he knows how to market himself. He's getting sponsorships, which is good. He knows how
sponsored by Under Armour, man.
Exactly. Yeah, he's doing his thing. Maxi Muscle as well. Listen, Yarde has certain aspects down to a T, and he's doing well. And other fighters should pay attention to that. But as a fan, are we really getting anything out of Yarde right now? Not really.
Casual fans are.
I suppose so. But how known is Yarde really? Like, he's got potential, but is he really well known?
From what I can gather, the majority of his fans are new boxing fans.
Yeah, and he's got a little another thing about Yarde. He's starting to pick up a few fans in the States as well.
He's picking up a lot of haters in the States.
He is picking up a lot of haters in the States. Yeah, that's true. but no, some people in the States like him. I've seen that.
Some, yeah.
Listen, the thing is with Yarde, I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. Just won a few step-ups, that's all. But,
he's got a fantastic highlight reel to watch on the eye in terms of if you know shit all about boxing. If you show that to a casual fan, they're going to be like, it's the next coming of Mike.
Yeah. I know what you mean. He's very flashy. Some nice knockouts on the highlight reel. Quick hands. Yeah.
He's a boxing legend special, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. Totally
I'm
agree.
sure a few people in the chat will know what I'm talking about there with a Boxing Legends special.
I like, yeah, he's. I'm looking forward. I'm still looking forward to seeing how his career unfolds. But it's just one of those things. Just got to be a bit patient, I suppose. They're talking about Buatsi Yard. They're saying Buatsi wins.
We were asked the question, how much does Kovalev have left? Does he unify the titles again? And who does he fare better against? Bivol or Beterbiev?
Good question. I don't think he's the same fighter he once was. I said that before the Alvarez rematch.
He boxed well against Alvarez.
He did box well. He did. But who does he have a chance against in regards to unifications? I would say Beterbiev. I think Kovalev's feet are a lot
They can
quicker.
both knock each other out, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. Beterbiev has been vulnerable. He's been dropped against much lesser competition than Kovalev.
Does Bivol outbox Kovalev, though? That's a good question.
I'm pretty certain it would be a boxing match. Whether Bivol can outbox him or not, I don't know. I think Bivol can catch him and knock him out. I know Bivol's gone for distance for the last couple of fights, but what he did to Sullivan Barrera...
He needs to be more aggressive.
Yeah, what he did to Sullivan Barrera impressed me. Because people don't do that to Barrera.
No, they don't.
And I felt that performance was very impressive. He basically won every round and then knocked him out in the last round. And that was really impressive. And yeah, I think it would be a boxing match with Kovalev. But that's a tough fight to call. It really is.
Personally, in a unification, I think Beterbiev, of the two you mentioned, might be the easier option for him. I can see him just being a little bit better than Beterbiev, even though Beterbiev hits really hard.
Beterbiev is more open, more vulnerable.
Yeah. I think Bivol could box with Kovalev and match him.
Yeah.
Then there's the other champion who you didn't mention, Vojtik. I think stylistically might be the worst, even though he's shown vulnerabilities. He's also shown tremendous heart.
Yeah, and good power, good speed.
A lot of speed, hand speed galore.
Yeah.
Mixes his combinations up very well and got a good job. He's tough.
Also works
stylistically.
Also works for body well when he decides to, which obviously, as we know, Kovalev doesn't like. Yeah, Vodsik is a tough fight for him stylistically.
The Quags asked, "What's the guy's name that nearly killed Stevenson?" That's Alexander Vojtik out of Ukraine.
Don't let Low Place hear you say that. God,
I like Low Place.
No, I watch his streams, mate. I like Low Place.
Funny, isn't he?
I think he's funny. I've been subbed to him for ages.
I've been subbed to him for 4 years nearly. 3 years, 4 years. I think Low had like 50 subscribers, 60 subscribers when I subbed to him.
Yeah. No, he's cool. Ayob says Bivol's small size is going to catch up with him. He's not the biggest light heavyweight. He's fairly small, actually. Yeah, I think he's good enough though, technically, to give these guys serious problems. All of them, I really do. I think Bivol will struggle when he fights somebody who can make him kind of take the lead. Maybe someone like Marcus Brown who can stick and move. I think Bivol stylistically would struggle with that, to be honest, being a smaller man with less reach.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a tough fight for Bivol at 175. But in regards to the other champions, I think Bivol has a great chance against all of them. And he's got a great chance against Marcus Brown, but something tells me Marcus Brown is the worst style matchup for Bivol. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But
I mean, Marcus Brown could be the guy.
Could be the dark horse, yeah. I mean, he's beaten Badou Jack. That's a great win.
It's such a phenomenal win, although there was a lot taken out of Jack from the Stevenson fight. I know people say Jack took a fuck ton out of Stevenson. Stevenson took a bit out of Jack as well.
Yeah.
Let's be real. If we're gonna say that Stevenson was damaged, Jack was also damaged in that fight. He got hit with some serious shots.
He got hit.
And Stevenson is no small puncher.
He can crack, yeah. He could really crack.
Even at fucking 41, and people were calling him damaged goods, he fucking hurt Wojcik in that fight.
He did.
Very much.
Yeah,
he
did.
hurt him badly.
He did, yeah, man. He was a great puncher. Like when you watched him, to me he always looked like right up there with Wilder in terms of one punch stopping power. Like in pound for pound sense. Like he just looked like he hit so hard. And that straight left of the body, like all the time. Like imagine getting hit by that shot right in the pit of your stomach. Oh, can only imagine the pain on that. Yeah, I mean, Stevenson was a good fighter. I wish I saw him against the best guys earlier on, but wasn't to be.
I blame Carl Froch.
Really?
I blame Carl Froch. He was the one who started the Adonis Stevenson shit of like not fighting him.
The thing is, to be fair to Froch, like he chose a unification fight instead.
He didn't choose a unification. You and I both know that the regular belt is not legit in a unification title fight.
But technically,
not even technically, it was built only by Sky Sports as a unification fight. It was not labeled as such by the sanctioning bodies. They labeled it to the British fans across the world. It was not deemed a unification world title fight. The regular belt is not a unified world title.
The thing is with that though, that's all well and good, and it's true. But at the same time, back then, Kessler was a far more proven commodity than Adonis Stevenson.
Even financially, at the end of the day, he got 2 exemptions for his mandatory with Stevenson. Stevenson was his mandatory, and he called off for 18 months, and then Stevenson eventually fucking went up.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, 2 exemptions and some fake-ass unification fight.
I don't know, man. I struggle to give Carl Froch, listen, as we all know, Carl Froch is a bellend, but to me, like back then, Kessler was a far more proven fighter.
He was more proven for sure, but
far more proven.
Would Froch have beat Stevenson?
Would Stevenson have been the same puncher at 168?
He seemed to be a big fucking puncher at 168, man.
He looked like it, but I mean, we've got to take into account the absolute dross Stevenson was fighting at light heavyweight, and even on his come up at 168. Like Froch is a tough fucking guy. Listen, I'm not saying Froch would have beat him, but
it would have been interesting.
It would have
been. It's a fight that I feel that I've been robbed of. I'm just going to say that out loud. I feel I was robbed of that. Because looking back on it now, think about it. That would have been this fucking tremendous fight.
Yeah, it would have been a great fight. It would have been tremendous. And and it does make you wonder what would have happened if Stevenson actually got his shot at 168. How would it have all panned out? It's a good shout. To be
fair, Stevenson did have a loss at middleweight. Darnell Boone beat him at middleweight.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, man. But, I mean, Stevenson, he you can make the argument he was ducked by Froch. You can easily make the argument, but for me, I just felt like back then, I'm just going by how I felt back then, and I felt, obviously I knew who Stevenson was, but I just felt Kessler was a far more proven commodity. He'd already beaten Froch once, so to me, I had no problem with it. I mean, you're fighting a fighter you've already lost to, trying to get that win back. But, so yeah, I never really saw it as a duck, but I can easily see how you can argue it to be a duck, personally. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I blame Carl Froch.
You're not having it. You're blaming the Cobra.
I'll blame him for that shit.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. It's fair enough.
I mean, yeah, like let's be real. Kessler did have the win over Froch. Kessler was definitely like world level.
Yeah.
Like he'd only lost to Calzaghe and Ward, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
In his entire career, he's got 3 losses: Froch, Ward, and Calzaghe. Like,
Yeah.
that says it all, mate.
And he's another fighter I miss. I liked Kessler. I felt he's a really good fighter.
But who did he beat?
I know what you mean. His resume wasn't the strongest. He beat Froch in the first fight, obviously. He beat was it Bayer? Marcus Bayer?
Marcus Bayer?
Yeah. That's a
He
decent
beat him
enough.
by KO. I know he beat Andrade.
Liberado Andrade.
Librado.
Yeah. That's a decent enough win.
He beat Dimitri Sartasin, I think.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
He beat your boy, Eamon McGee.
Hey, that ain't my guy.
Has he not? Don't you like him?
Why would I?
Don't know. You tell me.
He's not from the Republic of Ireland.
Is he not?
He's from Belfast.
I thought he's from Republic.
I'll slap him. We're talking about Brian McGee, right?
Oh, Brian McGee. Why did I say Eamon?
Because it's an Irish name. Nah, to be fair, he wasn't that bad, but he wasn't amazing either. He was like, he was a European champion,
Yeah,
but against his best opponents, he lost, didn't he?
he did. He lost all the
Like, he
opponents.
lost to Kessler,
Butte,
Butte, Froch.
Yeah, he lost to all the
Shipko.
guys. Yep. Kessler
That's
also
gone.
beat
I'm pretty sure he also lost to Robin Reed as well. That's going back a bit. That's probably 04, 05.
yeah. Kessler also beat Alan Green.
Yeah.
Oh, Alan Green went great. I don't know what. Yeah, he went great. It's a good knockout. It's a good knockout though.
What was that? He also beat Alan Green. Yeah, totally.
It was a good knockout. Alan Green.
That's like saying, that's like when, like 20 years from now, when guys are looking through Wilder's record, he also beat Audley Harrison. It's like, what?
Yeah. No, he could punch though, to be fair. Alan Green. He could punch.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
He's a good puncher, man.
But
oh, you were forgetting one name for Kessler. So obvious now. Anthony Mundine. That wasn't a bad win.
not at the time.
Not a bad win. Yeah, Mundine was all right. He could box a bit.
Huh.
For a guy who
He beat
started
him by
boxing late.
unanimous decision.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm being honest with you, I think Eric Lucas is a better win than Anthony Mundine.
Yeah. So looking at his resume, his resume is not terrible. Kessler's.
No, but it's not stellar.
No, it's not stellar. No. Not stellar at all. Not stellar at all. Yeah, people are saying about Boone. Yeah, he dropped Kovalev. Dropped Ward as well. And if you look at his resume, he's beaten a lot of other prospects. He's a proper journeyman. Darnell Boone.
Darnell Brown.
Yeah. Comes to fight.
He's an all-time great journeyman at this stage.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's got 24 wins, 24 losses.
It's like back in the day, there was that journeyman at like middleweight, super middleweight. Was it Sanderline Williams? Who fought like Tony. He fought all the guys at that time. He was a good journeyman, Sanderline Williams. But yeah, Darnell Boone, man, he's a tough old boy. And it makes you wonder, like, with somebody like Darnell Boone, if like a world-class promoter or manager got hold of him early on, makes you wonder what would have happened with their careers. Like fighters like Darnell Boone, would they have become anybody? Would they have like become, like title contenders? Makes you wonder, to be honest.
It's all ifs and buts and candy and nuts at the end of the day. Carfruch, Dr. Donna Stevenson. He could have took his mandatory, but he didn't, and he fought a fake unification for more money. Sell out. Just so that he could buy his girlfriend fucking jackets.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm talking about there with the jacket stuff, don't you?
No, go for it.
So the Super 6 tournament, the night before he fought Andre Ward, Carl Froch was going out and he was buying like $4,000 jackets and stuff for his girlfriend, and he was with Eddie and he was with somebody, and he was like, "So why are you doing this?" And she's like, "She likes this type of stuff." I'm like, what a gold digging slut. And this fucking guy fucking out there with his fake ass fat ass nose trying to buy her shit when he's gonna get his ass beaten.
Yeah. Crazy. That's crazy, man.
Just so that he can keep her.
Crazy. Like, listen, madness. It's madness. Surprised
So,
she ain't left him yet, you know. Like he's not getting the same paychecks these days. Well, he's still making money with Sky.
let's give it a few weeks.
A few weeks, few months. No,
Few days.
yeah, Kyle Froch though, like he has become like the ultimate troll.
I am going to say one thing though, yeah. I did see her at the Eubank and the Gale fight.
Did you? Seriously?
She wasn't with Froch.
Interesting.
She was with a friend of hers who she's been with at Froch fights.
The
plot thickens.
The plot thickens. She could be available.
You know, that's why he was speaking so shit about James the Gale, man. You never know.
You never know. To be fair though, like fucking hell, she's worth a go. I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't kick her out of bed.
I would, because I know she's been under Carl Froch.
That's true, actually. It's a good point.
Like, the very fact that his nose has probably been on her clit turns me off immediately.
Oh, dear. Yeah. That's
sorry if I get your stream taken down for that. I'm sorry.
That line is probably worth it, to be fair.
Speaking of lines, how many lines do you think he could do in one snorter? I reckon 6 or 7.
Oh Christ, he could take out Arthur Columbia, mate. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Oh, Carl. That new nose, mate. Christ.
It doesn't look right on him.
No. You was used to his crooked boxer's nose, weren't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, that was Carl Froch. Like, just...
I called it his incest nose.
Incest nose. Jesus Christ. I don't know,
but
man.
As much as I'm ragging on Carl Froch, yeah, I'm going to say this. I don't like him. He's a dickhead. But as a fighter, thank you. Because you did some, other than the Adonis Stevenson shit, for me, Carl Froch is the epitome of what all boxing fans want, because the best fought the best when Carl Froch fought.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I agree with that. Oh,
other than Stevenson and the Gale.
Yeah, and to be, yeah, but I'd agree with that. Or Jonathan Williams, what in the chat, he's saying, what do you think of White's comments in regards to AJ's cycling? Don't know whether you heard it.
I've heard it. I'll just say this: Dillian White has been busted.
Yeah,
and has been known for being a drug cheater. Jarrell Miller also made the same comments. Also been busted as a drug cheater. Anthony Joshua has not.
Yeah.
And whether I agree with TUE's therapeutic use exemptions, they are legal.
Yeah. Wait, Aob's in the chat. He's saying, I heard she only dates guys who have fought in front of 80,000 people. Brilliant.
Froch knocked out 80,000 fans in front of George Groves at Wembley.
Oh, dear.
Do you remember when he did that shit to Floyd when he was like...
That is amazing.
That to me was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I still watch that. I watch it every week.
Absolutely amazing. I'm sure sometimes Froch is trolling. I think he knows. I think he's playing up to it. I think he's a good troll.
To be fair, I tweeted at him once when he was promoting some poker site or something, yeah? And I tweeted, are you going to win on this in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley? And he said, no, I'm going to win £80,000 in front of 4 fans and poker sites. I thought that was a good response, man.
Fair play. Fair play.
Give him his credit. He took the banter.
He's a sharp guy, to be fair. He's sharp. Like
he's such a dick.
He's a dick. But I think it's just his humour, to be honest.
He's just such a dick. He's just such a dick. Tremendous fighter, but what a dick.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And all of those guys have now retired. Froch, Groves and De Gale, all gone.
Do you remember Froch was loved?
Yeah, man. He was. Although, I don't know, the Groves fight, he was kind of... Well, it's almost half and half, wasn't it? Most like
in the first fight, Groves was hated. It was the second fight.
Yeah,
the second fight is what turned him into it. Do you understand wrestling terminology?
Yeah, like face heels, blah blah blah.
Yeah, he turned heel. He turned heel. He was facing the first fight, and then he turned heel, and Groves turned face.
Yeah. Crazy, wasn't it?
They pulled a Rock Stone Cold on us, man.
Yeah, that's comedy. That's like 5 years ago. Fucking Trot Scrome.
Oh, that's amazing. That was actually like the first fight was actually fantastic.
It was a great fight, wasn't it? Yeah, I watched it back the other day actually. Like Groves, man. Like,
of course you did. The Gales retired. You probably went through some of the Gales fights as well.
yeah, I went through DeGale Durrell.
Did you see DeGale Groves back?
No.
Right. Rewatch that fight and come back on it and talk about that fight because of one thing. I think that's a tremendous British title fight. I think that's the greatest British title fight we've ever seen.
Do you actually?
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen it for ages. How did you score it, by the way?
I scored a point to Groves.
Okay. Yeah, that's about right. I remember watching it live. I had DeGale winning it. I watched it back, I would say, maybe like 3 years ago, and I had Groves by a point.
Just watch it and really think about how high level these guys were fighting at in every.
Yeah, it was a good technical fight, wasn't it? It was a good technical fight. Groves' jab was really good.
It was world level 3 years early.
Yeah. And that goes to show, though, like, I know those guys were advanced, but I think these prospects should be fighting each other. Because ultimately...
It made their careers.
Yeah, and basically, if you have two prospects who fight each other, if they're good enough, they're going to still go on to have great careers anyway, regardless of the result. They're going to go on and have great careers.
But would George Groves have got the same backing if he had lost that fight that DeGale ended up getting? Because DeGale still had the Olympic gold medal to fall back on.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's a good question. I always felt Groves had a bigger fan base than DeGale. Like DeGale, after that loss, kind of went into obscurity for a while on like Channel 5 fighting absolute nobodies.
Still wouldn't say it was obscure. He had good viewing figures, didn't he?
He did, but like nobody was like talking about him. Nobody was getting excited.
Look, he wasn't getting knocked out in front of 80,000 Eddie Hearns in front of like Barry Hearn at Wembley.
It's true. No, it's true. I think Grove, however that fight was scored, however it would have been scored, I think both guys would have always gone on to have good careers, personally. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if two prospects are good enough, they're going to have great careers anyway. So let's make them fight each other. They're going to learn a lot more in these fights than fighting 20 journeymen. That's what I'm saying. Get Dubois and Gorman in the ring together. Make it happen. And yeah, just go from there. I like to see these type of fights, personally. Young prospects like squaring off.
Do you know what I want to see?
Go on.
I want to see Audley Harrison against Dave Allen.
Audley versus Dave. Oh my God. Jesus.
Or Shannon Briggs against Dave.
I'd watch that, to be fair. I'd watch it. Out of morbid
curiosity. You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd watch it.
It doesn't matter. You'd watch Shannon Briggs against anybody.
Yeah, man. He's got punching power. He's only good for about a round.
Somebody said to me they should probably put if Vladimir wants to come back, they should put him in the ring against Briggs and have them fight each other finally.
Yep. I think
I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Vlad would do some damage to him, I think, though.
Do I care?
That's true.
That makes me sound like a psychopath, but do I care? I'm a boxer.
You want to see someone get knocked out?
I've watched Gerald McClellan and Nigel Benn 26 times, mate. I'm not a nice person. It's brutal and hard to watch, but fuck me, is it a fight?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a great fight. Oh, somebody made a good point in the chat. If Eddie Hearn signs Gassiev, who would you like to see him fight at heavyweight? Because he's moving up to heavyweight, apparently.
I don't want to see more names in the heavyweight division right now, man. There's too many people not fighting each other.
That's true. That's true.
Like, who do I pick? The same guys we all mention? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I know
I
what you
guess his
mean.
first fight, I'd be okay if he fought someone like Martin Bacoli or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nick Webb.
Nick
Couldn't tell
Webb,
you.
Jesus.
Trevor
Can you
Bryan.
imagine? Yeah, Trevor Bryan. Yep. What is happening with like? I mean, what's the point in Trevor Bryan? What's the point?
What's the point in Trevor Bryan?
Yeah, like I mean, the guy.
That boy questioning the man's existence.
The guy. I mean, let's be honest. The guy's going to get shipped out to the highest bidder eventually, and he's going to get knocked out, and nobody's going to give a fuck about that guy again. Just like Bogdan Dinu, that's the type of fighter he is. You know, I mean, he's just holding on to an interim belt.
Mate, but he beat BJ Flores. And remember, BJ Flores, he's an amazing guy.
Oh yeah,
Featured in such sparring events as David Hay.
And Sky said he was a great fighter. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Look, at the end of the day, Sky said David Hay and Audley Harrison was a very competitive fight.
They did. Oh, Team Groves, that's a good shout. Michael Hunter.
No,
I'd love to see that. It's a hard fight.
It won't happen. It won't happen in this first fight.
Oh no, it definitely won't happen. But I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Oh yeah, just to see it. Yeah, most definitely. You'd be mad not to want to see that fight, man. It's a very good fight. Whether it's a heavyweight or cruiserweight, I don't care.
It's a great fight either way. Yeah. Angry Orchard, he asks about Arslanbek Makhmudov. Oh, we mentioned him earlier. Yeah, I think he's a really good prospect. Carries a lot of power. Mean guy. He's going to be a fun watch. He's going to be a really fun watch. Definitely one of the more less known prospects right now.
Who would I like to see Gassiev against? Look, people will say I'm crazy. Joe Joyce.
Yep, I'd watch it. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Be a tough fight for Joe Joyce and for Gassiev.
Be a good fight.
Be a bloody bloodbath, wouldn't it? You'd imagine.
It would test Joe Joyce's
chin, yeah.
Stamina and chin.
Yeah. Where do you? I'm not sure whether I've asked you or whether I've heard you say it, but where do you see Joe Joyce ending up? How good do you think he is?
He might get a world title fight. He's not good enough to win one.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it.
His power is effective. He's slow as molasses. Yeah. I essentially think he's a better version of Dominic Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much how I see it. I think he'll go on to be a contender, but I don't think he'll go on to win like any major titles.
If he was like 25 or 26, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, he can be involved in some fun fights if you match them correctly. But yeah, you've kind of said it how I feel as well, to be honest.
Like, don't get me wrong, he's not shit. Just because you're not like going to be a world champion, he's a good boxer. Yeah, he's good.
And he brings and he does have unique
brutality.
Attributes. Yeah, he's got unique attributes. His punch output is something special. Like it is good, and his style is fun to watch. You know.
Can I ask you a serious question? Because for the life of me, how does he throw so many punches around, considering he throws so slowly?
I know. I know, man. It's crazy. Like he's got a great gas tank. I don't know how he does it. Maybe it's because he throws a lot of arm punches. Like he doesn't really put his whole body weight into them. Doesn't really swing wildly off balance that much. Maybe it's because he throws a lot of arm punches.
But a heavyweight, he's got 3 okay wins, doesn't he? Like on debut, that's a tremendous debut, by the way, Ian Lewison.
Yeah, because Lewison can punch at the very least, and Ian Lewison was actually a decent amateur. Ian Lewison always had ability, he just didn't have the dedication.
And he's got British pedigree.
Yeah. And Lenroy Thomas, he can box a bit.
That was brutal. That was brutal to watch.
Yeah, he just walked through him like he was a bit of paper mache. Like, just walked right through him. Just
in the ring, he's bad. Like, he's a bad motherfucker. I'm gonna say it like that. He's a bad bastard in the ring. Outside the ring, fucking hell.
In there, he's a mean bloke, isn't he? He's a mean fighter.
He's got the personality of a fucking squirrel on crack. Just doesn't know anything about the world, man. Nothing. You could go up to Joe Joyce and be like, "Hey, Joe, how are you doing?" And he'll turn around and be like, "Do you mean me?" Yeah, I mean you, buddy. How's it going? Oh, yeah. What?
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I think it's because he's camera shy. Maybe is he actually like that? I think sometimes it's just.
I've heard he's banter. I've heard from some people that he's actually banter when there's no camera.
Yeah, so I heard as well. I heard he's like a lot more, just a lot more comfortable. Maybe it's just the fact that he's not comfortable on camera yet. Oh, somebody's saying Joe Joyce versus Chisora. That'd be a good
fight. I'd watch it.
Yeah. They talked about that before. That'd be a great fight.
David Haye didn't give up his Porsche, did he?
Nope. That's a great fight. I like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch Chisora fight again, though.
I know what you mean. He's been on the end of some beatings and a couple of bad knockouts now.
I don't want him being Adonis.
The thing is, like, Chisora, he's got X amount of losses now. As I said, he's been knocked out a couple of times quite badly, been in tough fights. But against White in the rematch, it still looked like
winning.
He had something left. Yeah, it still looked like he had a lot left.
In the first fight, it also looked like he won to some people.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think he's shot in a sense where he can't compete anymore. But
he was getting bullied against Takam and then knocked his ass fucking.
Yeah. I don't think he's shot. I think he'll give guys problems, but his punch resistance isn't what it was.
Do you think Derek Chisora is the most dangerous journeyman at heavyweight?
If you want to describe him as a journeyman, yeah, I'd say he is.
I don't think he's a gatekeeper anymore.
It depends on what you define as a journeyman, but yeah, if we call him a journeyman, yeah, definitely.
He's a world-class journeyman / gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Like, you're not having an easy night against Derek Chisora.
No, unless you're like a Fury or, like a Joshua.
A second fight Fury.
Yeah, second fight Fury. That's a good point. Yeah.
He didn't have an easy night in the first fight.
He didn't. No, tough fight. I think Chisora was actually the favourite going into that first fight. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He was very well touted. Very well touted.
Yeah. He was. Angry Orchard, he says journeyman's a bit harsh for Chisora.
What can I say, man? I'm a little harsh.
Guilty Simpson, Usyk would beat Joyce even in his first fight at heavy.
Yes, he would.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Team Groves, he says that. Team Groves says that Yard team is filled with yes men. It does sound like that, to be fair. When you look at the interviews, when you look at the workout videos,
and I think Anthony Yard is one of those yes men.
To Tunde,
I think they all say yes to Tunde.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Makes you wonder, what does Tunde have something on Yard? Like he.
I want to say one thing. Can we stop talking about fucking Yard?
Yeah, it's a good point. We probably should stop talking about Yard. We probably
Fuck
should.
him.
Can you imagine the press conference if Joyce versus Dubois was made? Fucking hell. Oh dear. Fucking hell.
Even Al Heyman would be more talkative.
Yeah, exactly. You'd get more fucking life out of him. Christ. Yeah.
Although, to be fair, if that fight was made,
we'd love it.
It wouldn't need selling for the hardcores.
No, we'd all love it, wouldn't we? We'd watch it.
We'd be watching young versus old, power versus power.
Yeah. I'd love that fight. It'd be a great fight. I'll take Joyce in it.
I think
Right.
Joyce would be a little bit much for him right now.
Yeah, totally agree.
With the pressure
No.
Joyce throws,
Somebody in the Aob's in the chat. I think Dubois is autistic. Jesus.
if he's autistic, so is Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with autism.
No, but it's not. Some people see it as a fucking.
I hate the way
superpower.
people throw autism, being autistic around as an insult, like calling somebody autistic to insult them. Like
No,
that's a horrible thing.
It's just the internet, isn't it?
I guess I'm just overly sensitive to autism because, like, I have a checkered past with autism.
Do you? No, my older brother, he has autism. So yeah, I know what you mean. It's not
Full blown autism or
Nah.
a specific type.
I don't know, mate. I can tell you.
Fair enough.
I don't pay attention to the family.
I mean, my son has dyspraxia,
right?
And I have Asperger's syndrome. So
nice. A lot of it about, isn't there? Like, it's more common than people realise. To be fair.
Although, to be fair, Asperger's syndrome essentially means that I'm socially fucked. However, I'm not autistic. Like, I'm not in a completely other world going da 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 or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's the good news. The bad news is when I talk to people, I sound like an absolute cunt. But I like that. I like being blunt.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty blunt in real life. To be fair, I don't like small talk. I don't like I don't like all that nonsense. Like,
no, of course you don't. You like going over to Bulgaria and like going onto YouTube and letting everybody know that the women are fucking amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
By the way, lads, if you haven't been to Bulgaria, both me and Del Boy highly suggest.
Definitely, we'll go again. We was talking about going again. Actually,
me and the lads are gone.
Oh, it's a good shout, mate. It's a fucking great time. It really is.
Sunny Beach,
yeah, that's where we went. Yeah. Fucking amazing.
Did you get approached to go on a donkey by a random man?
No.
We did. I even seen that on a show called Lie to Me or something like that. Like, Would I Lie to You? Or it's some comedy panel show in the UK anyway. And they were talking about like being offered horse rides in Bulgaria. We were offered horse rides in Bulgaria as well, man. Funniest thing ever.
That is good out there, man. You can get anything out there, anything you want. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
If somebody were to ask you right now, what's the main reason I should go to Bulgaria? What would you tell them?
The main reason?
Other than the fact that if you're English, Irish, or Scottish, you're going to be able to get pussy.
To be honest, I would say it's more of a vibe that place holds. So it's not like a Magaluf. It's not like a usual lads destination. It's got a off-key vibe. I can't explain it. It's I don't know what it is. It's just something completely different. And pussy. But yeah, it's a different vibe.
Pussy galore.
Yeah,
pussy galore.
It's a different vibe to like the usual lad holiday places. So like Magaluf, I'd never go there again.
No?
No. Not at all.
Why is that? Did you not like the idea of breathing in the air and every time you did you thought you had HIV?
Yeah, exactly. That was it. That was it.
The smell of Magaluf is terrible. What is up with that?
Yeah, my mate's bird has a fucking her granddad like owns like properties out there. So if we go out there again, we don't like none of us need to like pay for a hotel or anything. So it'd be cheaper if we went out there again. But I just don't want to go out there, to be honest. Fucking not a fan. It was all right. Don't get me wrong. It done the job, but yeah. Team Groves, Sunny Beaches is worth going, mate. It's worth going.
Big time, mate. Big time.
Yeah.
You're just gonna come back in a jock. You're gonna be like, fucking hell.
Like you fucking Hookervez, like the mafia people though. Like, do you see them about like the like Bulgarian mafia?
Hmm.
They're everywhere.
But they're nice.
They don't cause any problems. They don't cause any problems. And they don't really approach you, and that's another thing. Like, fucking every single taxi driver like offered us all the drugs under the sun while we was out there, as well. That's amazing. It's fucking hilarious. Like, you can get anything out there, mate. Honestly,
What's the currency again? Lev, I
Lev.
think.
Lev, yeah. Oh,
Let's just convert into euros. I was like offered like 50 grams of coke and shit like that, man. Yeah.
yeah.
I was offered that for like 30 euro, 20 pounds. Like, I was like, what?
Crazy.
One of my mates got out of a taxi with like 9 bags of coke.
Fucking like Scarface.
He was just like, that's our Friday night done, lads. I'm like, Jesus.
Chase
2
Athletic
bags of coke.
It's fucking mad out there, man. It's mad. He says, how do you rate the 154 division? It's all right. It's all right. I like Jarrett Hurd. I think Tony Harrison's an underrated fighter. Lara's still knocking about. Yeah, it's a good division. Castano now. Yeah.
Jaime
decent.
Munguia.
Jaime Munguia. Yeah. I forget about him. Yeah. Jaime. Yeah. Yeah,
Jamal
exactly.
will probably fight Tony Harrison next.
Yeah, that'll be a rematch. I think Jamel will beat him in the rematch as well. I don't know what you think, but I think Jamel will get it back.
I think he'll be more aggressive and less passive.
Yeah, I think he knew that. Although I didn't think the scorecards were that controversial, I do believe Jamel lost it rather than Tony won it, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? I think if Jamel makes the right adjustments, like you say, a bit more aggressive, a bit less predictable, he should win that fight.
Throw a little bit more, work harder, go towards the body.
Yeah, exactly.
Fight the fight like you're fighting a world title fight, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Fight with some intensity. Yeah, he should win that fight in the rematch. Angry Orchard, Friday night chore with the lads. Oh, dear. I don't know where
chill
the holiday is.
On 9 bags of coke, a chill night. Me bollocks.
I don't know where the next holiday is, mate. To be fair, I could do with one. I'll be honest. I could do with one. I wouldn't mind going to like Estonia next, like Tallinn maybe. I'd like to go there. That looks pretty good.
Croatia. I've been to Tallinn, man.
Is it good?
I'll put it to you like this, yeah. Bulgarian girls have nothing on Estonian women, man.
Really? No, I've got to go there. Got to go there.
Nah, the unreal.
Fucking hell.
Do you know where else is actually amazing, but may not sound like it?
Go on.
Finland.
No, I've heard a lot about Finland. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Finland. I know the women out there are fucking banging.
I was in Finland. I went on to Tinder just for the lulz. I was with the lads. I had 116 Mackie at the end of my first night.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I'm not good looking, man. All I put up was Irish lad visiting Finland, wondering what's up. Right?
Yeah. That's fucking
That was me sorted for the women, man.
That's jokes. Fucking
now, but like 14 of them.
That's amazing. It's easy work, like shooting fish in the barrel. That's good, man. Fucking so another place is like Croatia. I really want to go to Croatia.
I was in Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik was good.
Okay. No. No,
I don't know, man.
Loads of places I want to go. But fucking, it's just I'm in that kind of saving mood at the minute where I'm just saving money and I'm not fucking spending anything. Don't want to spend any money.
Are you saving that YouTube cash though?
Oh yeah, man. It's adding up. It's adding up. I might be able to buy a fucking Mars bar soon.
Pretty sure you've probably made about £6 total.
It's not great, mate. It's not great. I'm certainly not planning to retire on it. To put it that way. Not planning to retire on it. That is confidential, Angry Orchard. Maybe I'll tell you later in a later stream or on another channel.
What was the question?
What do I do for work?
He's a pimp.
Yeah.
That awkward laugh makes me think it's true.
Yeah.
You're not even going to deny it, though?
Super pimp.
Super pimp.
Hey, Del Boy, where do you see your channel in 12 months' time? To be honest, mate, no idea, in all honesty. Sometimes I think, like, is there any point in it? I'll be honest. But most of the time I always enjoy this, so I'll just keep plugging on, mate. There's a few things I want to improve on. I want to improve on like the production of it, but that's for down the line. But yeah, I'll just keep on plugging away, keep on uploading, and see what happens.
I see his channel doubling in subscribers over the next 8 months.
It'd be nice.
If he takes some advice from me, he'll be able to get way more views. You need to make your channel more clickbaity, bro.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, though, like, so when I, for example, I don't know, I think it was when, the Fury news came out when he was signing a deal with ESPN and the Wilder fight was off. So when that news came out, I made a video about it and I was pissed. But after making that video, because I kind of went in on both guys, and after making that video, I just felt dirty for even making the video because I don't want to be that like drama type BS. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think the clickbait thing is.
I'm talking the titles.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's true.
Like, for example, actually, what's the name of the stream? Like Boxing Chat. Ask what you want. It could be like live boxing Q&A. Ask anything you want. Fuck people's opinions.
Yeah.
Just do that for the lulz.
Yeah,
I did it once.
It's true. It's true, actually.
Had like 500 live viewers.
That's no problem,
crazy.
Angry Orchard. It's nothing like special, nothing confidential. Industry cars.
Yeah, mechanic.
No. No.
Sounds like a fucking wish.
No, the mechanics are fucking good, fucking well paid, man. No, I work in car sales.
Not fair enough.
But
we all make our money somehow, don't we?
Exactly.
For anybody wondering what I do for a living, I write boxing articles.
Do you?
No.
I was saying, fucking hell, mate. Kept that quiet.
Yeah, man, I'm Keto Deck.
Yeah, that's Scott Guilfoyle guy on Boxing News 24.
I'm secretly Michael Coppinger, like, you know.
Oh dear. Team Groves, he says I'm Yard's full-time sparring partner. That's my job. No, Yard would bash me up, man. I'm too small for Yard.
I'd knock his ass out.
I think I weigh about 160 at the minute. I do.
I'd knock his fucking ass out.
Team Groves.
I'm not joking.
You're a heavyweight, aren't you?
Yep. Just I know my height in centimeters if you want it. 197.
Fucking hell. What's that in feet?
It's like 6'4.5", 6'5" and a half somewhere.
Big, yeah.
Maybe near 6'6". Somewhere in that. I'm taller than White, man. I'm not too far off Joshua.
Fair play, man.
And I weigh 242.
242. You probably. I think you'll have yard.
And I have an extensive amateur background. So
Yeah,
I don't think I'd have him. I think I'd kill him.
Knock him clean out. You can put the chin to the test.
No. Do you think I'm going to go headhunting? I'm tying him up against the ropes. I'm pushing all my weight on him and I'm smashing him to the body.
Wonder that's the thing though. Like yard, like sparring. Like nobody knows who he spars. But, we talked about yard again, haven't we? We've gone back to yard. Shit.
Well, just answer me one question. Was that Team Groves who brought up Yard?
Yeah.
He's done that 5 times now.
Team Groves, yeah, he says you deserve a bigger audience. Oh, thanks, mate. Props to my favourite boxing channel on here. Well, I'm glad someone likes it, mate. That's
Do you ever watch your old videos, though?
Nah, not really.
I've tried to watch my own before. It's so hard to listen to your own voice, isn't it?
It's horrible, yeah. I don't like listening to it. I hate listening back when I make a video, like just to make sure there's no mistakes. Don't like it.
I'd love to see somebody come out and do like a Del Boys Boxing News like parody channel and just be like, "Hey guys, it's Del Boy here." Just for lulz, man.
Oh dear. That's another thing. Like I reckon you can grow a channel a lot quicker if you started beefs and that. But that's another thing. Just a bit cringe, isn't it? It's not like you're gonna meet
mate, you and me should start a beef.
Mate, I'll be useless at it. Just not me.
Nah, we should totally start like some fake ass beef. Like promote the fuck out of it. Be all like we could start doing arguments over Chris Eubank Jr. being in the top 25 pound for pound, yes or no?
Fuck, you know. I don't think we could even act that, man. Like
I can. I fucking can. Look, at the end of the day, he's technically the lineal IBF champion because James DeGale, he never lost his title in the ring, right? That's the first part of it. He's a 2-time IBO champion. He's only lost to an unbeaten guy and an extreme high-level fucking super middleweight who was considered consensus number 1. And he practically ended his career by dislocating his shoulder and making him easy work for Callum Smith. I've been around this YouTube shit for way too long to not be able to make some random-ass narratives, man.
It's true, man. Yeah, it's true. It's just like fucking... I don't know. It's just not me, mate. Like, I don't see the point. I don't see the point in trying to beat him when you're not going to meet him in real life. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why? I don't see why people like use all that energy.
That boy's all like, "Yo, I'll have a beef with you if you'll agree to fucking fight me."
It's not even that, to be fair. It's just like, I just think it's pointless, isn't it? It's just pointless.
I think the word you're looking for is homo.
Yeah, it is homo.
It really is. No homo.
No, it's fucking there's a lot of channels out there like that though. And fair enough, man. If that's their hustle, then fair play to them.
There's some channels that don't even start beef. They pick an opposing view.
Yeah.
And they gain massive subscribers. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I've noticed it's more now. Like when because I've been like watching YouTube boxing videos for like ages, and back in the day,
years.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day, it was more just purely talking about boxing, talking about fights, talking about historical stuff, just talking about boxing. These days, like now, the last few years, it's more been about, you know, just talking about promoters, TV networks, talking about why fights aren't happening, talking about duckers and all that nonsense. It's not really about talking about fights. It's not about breaking down fights, or you know. But yeah, it's all drama these days. It's all negative, and that's what gets the clicks. for the most part. But there are
At the
channels
end
out
of the
there.
day, man, my most viewed video that I ever made was me talking about how Sky Sports rip off the British public.
Yeah,
In terms of ticket sales, I think it was 80,000 views or something after a month.
yeah,
That was ridiculous. That's clickbaity as fuck.
mm,
It's drama, but in all honesty,
it's true. At the same time,
Showtime costs you what, $10 a month, and you get all this different programming. If
yeah,
you're the boxing fan, right, you get the PBC cards, right?
hmm
If you're a Sky fan, what do you get on regular TV? Le Greco-Can and Joe Cordina headlining a fucking card.
yeah, exactly. You get fuck all.
But that's not for $10 a month, lads. That's for
Mm.
£40.
Yep. And anything worth watching is pay per view.
And
Joke.
even then,
Yeah, but that's worth. The thing is, though, like you say, that's clickbaity and whatnot, and it's negative, but it's worth talking about. That's actually something that's going to benefit fans, to point it out. No, like
last year, Sky had 9 pay-per-views total, or 8. I
yeah,
think it was 8. It's £20 a pop. That's £160, right, or $215.
yep,
On top of a £480 subscription fee for fuck all. So you're looking at 180 plus 480. That's £660 just for Sky.
yeah, exactly. It's expensive, and you're not. If
You weigh up the regular cost of subscription fees in America for ESPN, right, DAZN, HBO, and Showtime, plus all the pay-per-views that happened last year, it was more expensive to be a Sky Sports customer.
yeah, I dare say it's a
But
joke.
Eddie Hearn always talks about if he put on a pay-per-view for £60, he'd be lynched. Of course you would be when your regular subscription fee is $40. So that means to watch your pay-per-view fight, I've had to pay £100 this month.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that he doesn't mention.
No, it's a disgrace, to be quite honest. And then, yeah, listen, man, it's Sky Sports. The quality's getting worse. I don't know whether you heard me say it, but like I think this DAZN deal, all these dates Eddie Hearn has, it's like it's diluting the quality of like the UK shows. To be honest, I mean, why is Callum Johnson getting shipped out to the States? I mean, he should be in the UK fighting people like Hosea Burton or Joshua Boatsi. But no, he's getting shipped out to the States to be used as cannon fodder for Bivol down the line. I mean, taken away from domestic fights. He's already had his world title shot. It's a joke, man. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. Yep, Adam Scott.
No, I completely agree with you. Quick question from the chat for you. Why are you gay?
Oh, who's saying that?
Fiji water bottle.
Do we dignify him with a response?
Yes. Why are you a water bottle from Fiji? I think that's a more important question than somebody's sexuality.
Yes, listen, there's always one in the chat. I don't think I've blocked any. Have I blocked somebody yet? Maybe.
I haven't. I'm proud of that.
We'll leave him to we'll leave him to do his thing. Yeah, Team Groves. That's the same with me as well. The last pay-per-view I bought was Brooke Spence.
I was at that fight.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that. And obviously you had Groves, Chudinov on the undercard as well. That's a good card.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty decent. Adam Scott brought Wilder versus Fury, but he had a grand on the fight. Jesus, I can't imagine that grand went back into your pocket.
Wait, what?
So Adam Scott, he brought the Wilder Fury fight, and he had a grand on it as well. Jesus,
I went to the fight.
I know you went abroad for it, didn't you? Yeah,
Yeah, man.
it must have been a
Cost
good experience.
cost me $5,000, but I had a good time.
Yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it? That's the main thing. Oh,
Like, it's not every day you go to LA.
yeah. No, exactly.
And so I had a reason. And somebody asked me, was I going because I'm a Fury fanboy? I'm like, no. I went because it was a lineal heavyweight title fight.
And it's a good fight. And turned out you saw a great fight. So
I saw a good fight with great moments.
yeah. But it's a fight people are going to talk about in 20 years' time, and you can say you was there, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
I could even argue that it's the first fight of this heavyweight era. You know what I mean? To like really cultivate like the new golden age of the heavyweight division.
Yeah. Fiji Water Bottle's gone on to say he wants Wilder versus Stavern 3 with a rematch clause both ways. Let's go for it. Let's get it. Jesus Christ.
Not until I see Shannon Briggs and Audley Harrison in a. Actually, do you remember what was the name of that shit Sky used to do? Where they had like
Prize Fighter.
Prize Fighter. So Prize Fighter the heavyweights. Yeah. Dave Allen, Audley Harrison, Shannon Briggs, Thomas Adamek. I need 4 more fighters.
James Toney, get him back.
James Toney, let's throw him in there. Let's put Matt Skelton in there. Let's get David Price in there and put Lucas Brown in there.
Oh, Jesus.
Would you all watch it? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
So, if everybody in the chat, would you watch that? Because I fucking would.
You could have
I'd buy it.
Fucking Oliver McCall in there. He had a fight scheduled the other day. Oliver McCall.
Oh, mate, no. Mate, do you know who we put in there? Samuel Peters.
Oh, no. Sam Peters. Jesus.
Yeah, let's get Big Sam back in the ring.
Big Sam. Yeah, man. Get him in there. Christ. Basically, we need all the shot heavyweights from like 2005. We'll get them in there. Fuck it.
Danny Williams.
Yeah, Danny Williams. He's still knocking about. Michael Sprott. Fucking hell.
Oh, good God.
Martin Rogan, we can get him back.
Leave Martin alone.
No, he can join in too.
He's a tough bastard, though. I'll give him his credit. He's tough.
He's a tough guy, yeah. He took some beatings in there.
He's not a good fighter, but he's a tough one.
Fuck, he is.
Fucking taxi driver he is.
ESPN are reporting there's a warrant out for Gervonta Davis arrest. Not surprised. But, to be honest. Good fighter. Great talent. A fucking idiot, though. That's all you can really say, innit? I hope his career doesn't go down the pan because I think he's got a lot of potential. But, yeah. What can you say about Gervonta Davis?
High-level potential, possible star power, thrown it all away and turned it into Adrian Broner.
Yep. Totally agree. It's sad.
Did I say the truth?
Yep. 100%. Yeah, Rogan, he got chinned by Erkan Tepe in a round, yeah. That's a brutal knockout as well. From what I remember.
Yeah, but Erkan Tepe was on steroids.
He was fucking juiced out of his fucking mind, mate. I mean, after he got busted, he looked terrible. Like, he looked garbage. He looked so bad. But
he looked like Dave Allen's last opponent.
Yes, Sammy Anibo. Looked like he belonged to the fucking kebab shop, yeah. No.
Who doesn't love a good kebab, though?
Yeah. Do you know what sucks, though? Like, you've had a really good night out, you've had a few beers, and you're looking for that kebab. You get your kebab, and it's a shit one. It's always the worst, man, when it turns out to be shit.
You see, unless I'm in an area I don't know, I always get the same kebab place.
Yeah, so like the weekend before this one, we was in Southend, so we had to fucking chance it, and we got this kebab, and it was garbage, man. Fucking ruining the night out for me.
You see, this is what I do, yeah? If I'm on a night out in an area I don't know, I always get a chow mein because
Oh, right.
they're always like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I'll get sweet and sour chicken balls.
Yeah. Don't mind chow mein.
That's because you're a man's man, aren't you? You need your kebab.
That's it,
Right.
man. I love kebab. It's fucking drunk fuel, isn't it? It's fucking lovely.
Team Groves. Tepper was an anabolic cocktail of everything.
He was. Oh dear. Good old Tepper. Good old Erkin. Did you watch Tepper versus Hellenius by any chance? That was actually a really good fight. Surprisingly, really good fight.
I remember, yeah. It bored the fuck out of me. I don't know why. It was a good fight. I was bored out of my fucking mind.
To be fair, though, you've got to be pretty bored to fucking even watch that fight.
Not really, man. Not really. Like, let's be real, though. You were talking about prospects that 95% of boxing fans don't even know, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I literally, for my entertainment, I go and read stuff from the turn of the fucking century. Like,
fair play. Yeah.
We can never be that bored.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. No, that's it. No, that's it. I think I'm gonna call the stream, you know. We've been going for I don't even know, mate. How long have we been going
Let's
for?
see. So you started streaming 3 hours ago.
Hell, goes so quick when you're just talking and streaming. That's the thing. Like today, I was like to myself, I'll do like an hour, maybe hour and a half at max. 3 hours later, I can still streaming. But no, thanks for coming on, mate.
Most definitely, man.
Appreciate it, and yeah, definitely be streaming again in the future. And if you ever have a stream, mate, and I'm knocking about, I'll jump on as well.
Yeah, most definitely. You're always welcome.
Cool, nice one. Everybody in the chat, if you could subscribe to Unrivaled Boxing Talk, he's got a great channel, and yeah, I'm sure we'll do it again. Peace.